Yeah, welcome to the X-Rated Sports Network, where the takes get loud and the truth get exposed. Let's talk about it. X-Rated Sports Network.
If it's game time talk, we the ones who connect.
X-Rated Sports Network.
Where the hot takes live and the truth get checked. East Coast talk, West Coast swagger. Stats on the board, yeah, the debate get louder. No filter talk, yeah, we calling the play. If it's sports conversation, we leading the way. From the hardwood to the gridiron plays, breaking every matchup, every headline.
Oh, baby, another postseason edition of Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. What's up, y'all? We have in our LA studios the great Dr. X, sports medicine radiologist, entrepreneur, philanthropist, our founder, our creator, the sun around which we orbit. To his right, it is A.M. Pfeffer. He said that's too much. Lower right, we have Dwight Walton. I am Rick Kamla, and we have early jokes from Dr. X. Fellas, the games have been tasty. It's been a ton of fun so far. And we start with some breaking news here. All right. The league has ruled on Luka Doncic and Cade Cunningham. They're both now eligible for postseason awards, all NBA and all that kind of stuff because their extraordinary circumstances challenge was approved by the NBA. Luka finished with 64 games played, missed 2 games in December because of the birth of his child. Cunningham played in 63 games, missed 12 games with that collapsed lung, returned late. Anthony Edwards also appealed. He was denied. He played 60 games, and I'm sure the league had a little chuckle at Ant-Man trying to get that one underneath the door. The question is, fellas, and then we're going to talk a ton of play-in tournament and playoff stuff. Was this a mistake by the NBA to make Cade and Luka eligible? I say yes. Reason number one. When I gave Adam Silver the idea for the 65-game rule, there was no language in the fine print about this extraordinary circumstance appeal process, okay? That was his idea, not mine. I didn't put it in there. I didn't want it in there. 65 games, period, okay? But, of course, Adam's got to soften it and sugarcoat it and all this Adam Silver stuff. 2, Luka and Cade are the first players to win the extraordinary circumstance appeal with the league, setting a precedent for future players to miss more than 17 games, but whine to the NBA and get their way anyway. So now the target is not 65 games, it's around 65 games. And that sucks. 3, the NBA caved to the media here. Okay, you hear all these media people belly aching about the 65-game rule, most of whom seem to hate it. The NBA listened to them, okay? And so to me, this is a media creation. This is Adam caving to the media. And one more thing, before I go to Dr. X, the NBA did not want a fight with the Players Association, so they just said, all right, screw it. They're eligible. We don't want to deal with it. We want to have fun with the playoffs. So I do not agree with this. God bless Cade. God bless Luka. In their quest, and good for them that they got this, but I wouldn't have done it. I would have stuck to 65 games. Dr. X, did the NBA make a mistake or did they get this right?
They got it right, Rick. They got it right because you know what? Ultimately, they have a standard in place, and if you have an issue with it, appeal it. And I think once we have our first example of it getting denied, then we'll feel better about it. I think right now this was approved, and I think it was rightfully so it was approved because you had two players that made impact on their team and actually would move the needle versus a 55-gamer or a 60-gamer and someone that's really just out because they're just in their feelings, they get suspended, or it's someone that is just load management like Popovich or some other coach like a Popovich is a part of it, and they're a part of load management. Let's say Draymond Green. Say Draymond gets about 59 games, and it's mostly due to load management because of Steve Kerr, and they try to appeal it, and he can't get all defensive team or whatever, and it gets denied. That would be a good example of where, okay, that doesn't meet the extraordinary circumstance challenge. And I think once we have that example, I think we'll all feel better about it, that at least there's a standard in place that players they have a goal in mind, they have to reach to it. And we know 65 games it's not like an easy thing to reach if you're not locked in. And so at least we know our stars are locked in. And if they care about their awards and they care about their escalator clauses in their contracts, then they will actually do what's right and make sure they make it into those standards.
Well, those are all excellent points. And the locked in part, certainly Doc worked with SGA, Wemby, and Jokic, right? They were all right up against it. And they all made the threshold, if albeit maybe on the last day, but it definitely worked in that regard. Dwight Walton, you next, man. Was this a mistake or the right move by the NBA?
Mistake, maybe a little bit too much here. I think common sense was used, but I want to say this. I think if to AM's point about the minutes and the impact that Cade Cunningham and Luka Doncic have had on their teams, I think opened up Pandora's box, if you will, and to the common sense plateau here to allow their cases to be awarded in their favor. However, I'm all for Cade Cunningham because his situation was definitely extraordinary. He had a collapsed lung. That's not something you play around with. And it's not as if, yes, he may have missed games early on in the season, but he's a player that wants to play. He wants to make a name for himself. He wants to add to his legacy. He wants to be there for his team. The collapsed lung happened at the end of the season. It's not like he didn't want to be there. So I understand the NBA giving in to Cade's situation. However, you know me, I'm a referee. I'm in favor of referees. In the case of Luka Doncic, and I understand it's a great thing to be by the bedside of the mother of your children and to see the birth of your children. However, that's the extraordinary circumstance. What I don't like about this is that he missed a game because of the 16 technical foul threshold. That game, you should not be awarded for that. He missed the game. That's his fault. Stop whining to the officials. Stop complaining so much. You were lucky once where they rescinded one technical foul. Then in the game against the Washington Wizards, you got a technical the game prior to that, you got a technical foul again. It causes you to be suspended and to miss a game. That's on you. So in the case of Luka Doncic, I'm not giving in to him. And that's my point. So again, for extraordinary circumstances and common sense, I understand it. But in the case of Luka Doncic, keep your mouth shut. Stop whining. You wouldn't have been suspended, and you wouldn't have had to go through the appeal process to get to the 65 game threshold. So it's a give and take. It's a murky situation. I understand it, but let's take a pause for Doncic here a second. I'm not happy with his case.
Okay, so Dwight's kind of one and then the other. Doc says, yeah, it was good that both of them won their appeal. I didn't want either of them to win their appeal with love. And AM, so we've got opinions all over the place. Where are you at? Was this a mistake or the right move by the NBA?
Right move by the NBA. This is a fluid situation, all right, guys? The reality is, and look, I understand, we want to be rigid about it. We want to say the 65 games, and that's it. And Rick, I understand where you're coming from. And I like that you're drawing the line, and you're not wrong about that. But at the exact same time, Adam Silver understands one thing. The NBA is a star-driven league. That matters. And when you're talking about all-team, first-team NBA, second-team All-NBA, the Defensive Player of the Year, this matters. This matters to the fans, okay? Luka deserves to be there, despite him being a putz and the technical foul, and I've talked about this obviously before. Cade deserves to be there. And you know what? From the desk of AM Pfeffer, I'm writing another executive decision here. I'm throwing in Ant-Man and his 60 games, and I'm writing this out, and I'm throwing in Devin Booker and his rule. I want both of these guys. I want Ant-Man on the second team All-NBA, and I want Devin Booker on the third team All-NBA, and I want a discussion if you're going to move out, Albert Şengün or whoever else is going to replace them because those two guys aren't going to be there. That's what the NBA is all about. It's a moving target. This is the beginning stages of the 65 game rule, okay? So you got to have a little wiggle room. You got to have the idea of let's start figuring out what actually matters. Do we bring in the 2,000 minute restriction, or the threshold and build from there? Do we have the extenuating circumstances? I like what Adam Silver did. He understands this is a star-driven league. Luka matters. Cade matters. So do Booker and Ant-Man. Executive decision. Sending it into the league now.
You know what, AM? I'll say this. Just based on what you said, and I think overall, just give it back to the voters. To me, I still believe in common sense and humanity. I think the reporters already used their common sense in terms of the votes for all league. I don't think they needed restrictions. Basically, what you're saying is you're glad Adam Silver did this and that. So just take the threshold out completely and let the voters use their brains, their common sense. They'll say, you know what? Cade played 62 games. He did this, he did that. You played a certain amount of minutes, so give him an all-league award. Give him the MVP. Whatever awards are out there, I think the reporters already used their common sense, so give it back to them. This 65-game threshold, it's very murky. We're already tweaking it a couple of years in. This is going to be a problem going forward. It's either you keep it or you get rid of it. You can't have any in between, because now we're using terms like common sense, star-driven league, this and that. Just get rid of it. Let the voters use their common sense.
I just have a question before we move on.
Okay.
Just a quick question. AM, did you call Luka a putz? Is that what I heard?
You know I did, and I've said it a few times on this show. He's a putz for getting 16 technicals.
I'm not going to steal that. That's yours. Continue to use that. Go ahead, AM. I like
it. He is. But, Rick, I want to go back to what Dwight's saying here with the idea of common sense. Rick, you're saying that this is a media-driven narrative that these exceptional, that it turns into, an extenuating circumstances of what Adam Silver had to do. But, Dwight, to your point, who's voting? Who's voting for these guys? It's the media. So, I mean,
and who's complaining about this rule? The media.
And who's complaining about it? But that's to what Dwight is saying, right? Like, it's like, if you're putting it in our hands as the media to make these votes, give us the benefit of the doubt that we're smart enough to know, in a common sense error, whether the 65-game threshold can have a little bit of wiggle room, and it should. Silver made the right decision.
And again, the players collectively bargained it. So whose fault is it, really? The players voted for this, not the media.
And the players' entitlement in missing games is why this was ratified in the first place. It all goes back to the players and their culpability on this. Let's get to the games, fellas, here on Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. So we're going to talk about the Golden State and Clippers game. Then we're going to go back to LaMelo Ball, the trip on Bam Adebayo. It's all coming up. You're in a great spot here. But let's focus on what we saw last night. Steph obviously was amazing once again. Became the oldest point guard to score 35 points. According to somebody online, that stat seems weird to me, but I saw it like at 3 different places, so I'll read it. And if it's wrong, blame all of them, not me. The Warriors were down by as many as 13 points with under 10 minutes left. Came back when Curry got back into the game because Steve Kerr strangled Rick Celebrini and forced him to allow Steph to play. And so Kerr won. And he didn't choke him out. Like, Celebrini's okay, but he just had to send that message. And it got violent for a minute. It was a little bit Sprewell Carlissimo-esque. I'm sorry. It was, but I'm not mad at Kerr for that. Like, let's win the game. Okay, so Curry scored 11 of his game-high 35 in the final 9:27 of the game. Obviously, Golden State wins the game. Legion Hoops, a great follow on Twitter, says they put a picture of Steph with the night-night pose, and it says, the greatest point guard of all time, no debate. Eye roll. Recency bias, prisoners of the moment are about as annoying as rush hour traffic. So let's debate this. And because Magic is my favorite player in any sport of all time, I kind of want to go first on this one. Fellas, if you don't mind, hold my beer. A lot of people like to say Steph is the GOAT of point guards, and they're completely clueless with that opinion, in my opinion. The GOAT is not about eye test or your favorite player or who changed the game more or You were alive to see this guy play, but you weren't alive to see this guy play. If you want to play the GOAT game, you got to know NBA history, okay? And otherwise, stay out of it, all right? I don't want to hear in a barbershop some 19-year-old who didn't watch Jordan and he's talking about, no, like you have to do your research. If you are a hoophead who talks basketball, whether in a barbershop or on a platform like this, do your research, watch video, read the resume, okay? Compare resumes, have context, okay? Have the ability to say these things and they matter, all right? Otherwise, as Pat Riley would say, you need to shut your mouth, okay? 3 years ago, Magic Johnson responded to Steph Curry calling himself the GOAT. Magic said, and I quote, if he's got more than 5 championships, get ready to laugh, more than 3 finals MVPs, 3 league MVPs, and number 1 assists all time in the finals, then he's the greatest. The last time I checked, he doesn't. End quote from Magic Johnson. Let's just drop the mic right there. But I got to go to the GOAT meter. Okay? It's mine. That's a Cam original. It's the GOAT meter. This debate is all about the GOAT meter. It's not about who's the greatest shooter of all time and all that stuff. It's about resume, black and white. Okay? Curry has 4 titles, 1 finals MVP, and 2 league MVPs. Okay? That's a GOAT meter of 7. Pretty damn good. Magic Johnson has a GOAT meter of 11. Okay? 11 to 7 in the GOAT meter. That's no contest. So I would say to Legion Hoops, Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard of all time, and it's not debatable as we go to Dr. X. Dr. X, who is the GOAT of point guards?
I agree with you, Rick. First off, I think we have to put it in context, is that Magic Johnson is a true point guard. I don't even think Steph is really a point guard. I think he's a combo guard, and it's smudged up there. So it's kind of hard to quantify, his value. I think if you're going to call him point guard, he's the best shooting point guard of all time. But he's not your traditional point guard. I mean, it's really because of the offense they run, the motion offense. He brings it up, and there's a lot of movement, but you don't really see him orchestrating, the plays like Howard Stockton, a Nash, or Jason Kidd. I think those guys, when I think of point guards, after Magic Johnson, I'm thinking of Nash, Kidd, and Stockton, and maybe even a player like CP3. Actually, I think CP3 manages the game and the way he plays, and he hits the shots. He's not a great shooter like Steph is, but he's good enough. So I just feel like it's the wrong conversation to say, and you, based on how Steph plays, you can't really say he's the GOAT of point guards. He's not really a point guard. So it's a flawed conversation to begin with. But I agree with you. I would say Magic Johnson is number 1. We probably would have seen a lot more greatness from him in terms of longevity, in terms of stats if he kept on playing, in terms of totals. But the averages, the rings, right away, the MVPs, to me, MVPs are cute for like players that are coming in, but it's really about those finals MVPs if you're talking about greats. I don't really care about MVPs. Steve Nash won 2, great, but did he win the finals MVP? No. So he's kind of like not in my conversation when we're talking about, the top of top, the GOATs of all GOAT. And that goes for every category. If you did great in the NBA and your totals are great, I need to see averages, and then I need to see finals MVP. And he doesn't check those boxes. He also struggled in getting finals MVPs for his first 2 rings, or actually first 3 rings, I should say. And so that put him out of a lot of people's conversations leading up to it. So now that he finally has one, now we can start discussing things. But let's just put it in context. I just think it's a flawed conversation to begin with.
If I could revise it just super quick, if I could revise history really quickly, Iguodala would not have won Finals MVP. Steph would have won Finals MVP in 2015. Anyway, I thought that was kind of a travesty. So to me, Steph's GOAT meter should be 8, but it's 7. Dwight, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I'm sending Steve a text right now. Steve Nash saying that my cousin doesn't have him at the top of the top. So just hold on a second. I'm joking. I was joking.
He won't disagree with me, though.
I was joking. You know what? This is another loaded question, Rick. It depends on your definition of the point guard in this generation, this era, as opposed to the real definition of the point guards. Steph Curry, as far as I'm concerned, isn't even in the top 5 of point guards. And as far as I'm concerned, he's not a point guard, he's a 2 guard. I think Draymond Green is the initiator of the offense for the Golden State Warriors, the same way Andre Iguodala was the initiator when he was a Warrior, Sean Livingston, so on and so forth. So Steph, to me, he isn't the table setter. He's not the one telling guys where to go, having guys come off screens. He's the one that's coming off his screens, and Draymond Green normally is the one that is setting the table, directing traffic, all that kind of stuff. Again, I think Steph is more 2 and more combo than he is a point guard. Magic Johnson is the epitome of point guard. He's the one that's the leader, the table setter, gets everybody involved, knows when it's his time to shoot, but most importantly, when it's time to get the ball to James Worthy, to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to Byron Scott, so on and so forth. That's how he ran the team. That's who he was. So for me, it's Magic Johnson. You throw my boy Steve Nash in there, John Stockton, Jason Kidd, Mark Jackson. The list goes on and on. So for me, Steph is not a point guard. Of course, we can discuss if he's going to be in the top 10 of all time. That's a barbershop discussion until all of us go 6 feet under. But Steph Curry, to me, shouldn't even be in the point guard conversation. It's Magic Johnson. He's at the cream. He's at the top, and then it's whatever other rankings you want to put for Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, John Stockton, Mark Jackson, so on and so forth.
All right, I love it. Steph Curry's number 7 on my all-time list, by the way. Number 7 on my all-time top 10. And I had to boot Larry Bird to get Steph Curry on there. A lot of people are still pissed at me to this day about it. And I say, so it's my list. Someone had to go. When someone goes in, someone's got to come out. And it hurt to take Larry Bird out. But then again, it kind of didn't. I grew up a Showtime Laker fan. But there was no fanboy in that. I'll tell you that right now. A.M. Pepper. Who is the go-to point guards?
Rick, I'm so glad you brought up 19-year-olds specifically, because that couldn't be any more apropos to our conversation. Why? My nephew, who was a freshman at Ohio State this year, is exactly 19 years old. I remember distinctly having a conversation with him about 8 or 9 years ago. I just asked him when he was around 10 years old, who's the greatest shooting guard of all time? You know who his answer was? James Harden. Why? James Harden won the MVP in 2017-18, which is exactly right around the time I'm asking him the question. He doesn't know anybody else. You talk about recency. What are we even talking about? Legion Hoops is run clearly by a 10-year-old. The Mount Rushmore, the Mount Rushmore of the NBA is Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Magic Johnson. That's your mine. Mount Rushmore. That's everybody's Mount Rushmore. If it's not,
that's my Mount Rushmore.
The top 10 conversation is for barbershops. The top 4, the Mount Rushmore, that's chalk. And if that ain't your Mount Rushmore, we ain't even having a conversation. It's not even close. And by the way, Steph Curry is number 8 in my top 10. Larry Bird is still there. He's actually number 9.
Who'd you take out, AM?
Who did I? Shaq. I dropped him to 11.
Oh,
that was my decision. This is so funny. That was my decision. I was either going to drop Shaq or Bird. But Shaq's got 4 and Bird's got 3, and that was kind of the differentiator there. Because guys, I
got one thing about Shaq, Rick, that really upsets me. Go look at Shaq's rebounding numbers in his rookie year. He never hit that again on the average. And that is something that has always stuck with me about Shaq. It's like one knock I have on him.
Me too, AM.
Obviously, the massive weight gain. Yeah, right? That was a thing. Like, he could have been, it should have been higher. There was just some, but don't get me wrong. I mean, he's, of course, no disrespect to Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah. Hey, AM, there were some games where Shaq had 5, 6, 7 rebounds. I'm like, dude, my goal as a 6'5.5" power forward was to get 4 rebounds a quarter. You're getting 7 for a game? Dude, you're 7'2", 400 pounds. You should get rebounds by default. Anyway, I'm with you on the rebounds. I couldn't stand that. Oh, anyway. Go ahead.
There are two guys that will they're at the end of my top 10. They just have like a permanent reservation at the table. Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. They're 9 and 10. They're permanently in my top 10. I don't think you can have a top 10 without those two guys. Okay. Maybe they're not at the top. So if somebody else goes in, and we're a long way out from that, Shaq would be the one who came out. What are you talking about, Camel Juice? I gave you that nickname. Shaq, I got to do what I got to do. But nobody's done it yet, okay? Nobody has done it yet. All right, cool. So let's move on here. Let's flip to the other side here, the LA Clippers. Guys, I got to do it. I got to do it. I just got to, it's the Clippers. They're always going to do Clippers stuff. I mean, my God, they're never going to have nice things. They were set up to beat Golden State and go to the playoffs or stay alive. And so anyway, Kawhi Leonard said, again, year after year, this team's overrated. It's just like, why? They always let us down. So you've got the investigation going on with Kawhi, right? He said, so the question that we're going to get into here, where will Kawhi play next year? All right, Kawhi said, I never thought about it too much other than questions asked. You'll have to ask the NBA, not me. I'm not the one doing the investigation. I think we're going to be in the clear. I'm not stressing it. Kawhi Leonard obviously had a magnificent year, played 66 games. He'll be all NBA somewhere in there. 27.9 PPG, top 10 in field goal percentage, 2s and 3s. And the Clippers, get this, 7.8 plus when he was on, minus 6.9 when he was off. I mean, the guy's just a great player. We know this, right? Contractually, here are the rules of engagement. He's got 1 year left at $50.3 million. He's eligible when the season ends for a 2-year, $126 million extension this summer. And I'm going to go first here because, first of all, he's going to be with the Clippers, okay? Steve Ballmer loves Kawhi Leonard. Steve Ballmer traded SGA to bring Kawhi Leonard to LA. Always remember and never forget that, okay? The league is going to clear the Clippers, in my opinion, or mildly penalize them, but I think life is going to go on here. In fact, I have a prediction for you guys. I believe that the fact this investigation has gone on for 3.5 years now, is playing out so long, that was a joke, tells me that they are playing the long game intentionally until everybody forgets about this and just kind of doesn't care anymore. And then we will get a news dump of the NBA's ruling on this on a Friday evening deep in August when everybody's barbecuing and nobody's even watching, okay? And they're just going to put it right under the rug right there. Oh, did they ever rule on that? Yeah, they did back in August. Oh, I missed that. That's going to be everybody's kind of reaction to that. And once this soft ruling comes down, the Clippers are going to re-sign Kawhi Leonard for 2 years, perhaps up to the max, maybe not. But I believe Kawhi Leonard will retire a Clipper. Dr. X, we go to you next. Where do you think Kawhi Leonard will play next year? Because there's rumors about Golden State, I believe Miami, maybe some other teams. Where do you think he's going to play next year? And talk to me about his saga.
Oh man, I mean, Kawhi's saga is pretty sad. It's like, well, it's a mix. Like, number one, we can't forget that this guy is Finals MVP twice, right? And he has 2 rings. Am I correct? He has 2 rings. One with
3.
Or does he have 3 rings? 3. He has 2 with San Antonio and 1 with
Toronto.
What up, B-Dot?
What's up? Brandon
How you doing? Yo.
So regardless of what
Dot?
Kawhi does, you're kind of late, Dwight. We already said it. I'm talking now. I got the floor. Are you frozen? Why are you still smiling, Dwight? All right, there we go. Okay, so so I would say Kawhi is a superstar, but he just hasn't given us enough. There's always something. But this year, we have to give him his props. Like they were like, 20 losses already in the beginning of the season. Then they get rid of Chris Paul, and then they start winning games. So it's unfortunate how it unfolded. I got to give my props to Draymond Green for shutting him down in the fourth quarter. He did as well. But ultimately, where does Kawhi play next season? I agree with you, Rick. He's going to end up with the LA Clippers. But where should he go? I think he should go to another destination where he can be successful. And I think the Clippers just kind of need to press reset. But I don't know how they get there. And who would they replace that's better than Kawhi Leonard? I just don't know who that would be. So ultimately, I think the Clippers will re-up and go with Kawhi Leonard. So that's my answer. He has a speckled history, but I think it's something he should be proud of. I mean, to get 3 rings and 2 finals MVPs, he should be very proud of his career.
Indeed, man. So let's welcome in B-Dot here and let's get him into debate mode. There's the investigation going on about the potential salary cap circumvention and all this kind of stuff. It's ongoing. So a lot of people are speculating that Kawhi Leonard may be traded, I don't know, maybe his contract revoked or something like that. But talk about Kawhi here. Season just came to an end, B-Dot. And you can answer it one of 2 ways. Do you think he'll be with the Clippers next year? Or do you think he'd be better served going on another team?
Oh, man, hell of a season for Kawhi. Averaging 28 points, after all the doubters and haters talking about how his injuries and stuff, he could have shut it down. He could have shut it down early in the season. But he trooped it out, let people know that, hey, man, I'm still one of the top 7 players in the league. He's going to be with the Clippers next year. He got like a $50 million contract. That's like, same thing as LeBron. In order for him to go somewhere else, they're going to have to make a lot of changes. And him and Garland only got to play like 10 games together maybe. And Garland looked great last night. Garland looks healthy. He looks really well. I mean, he had like 20-plus points, 7 assists, looking like the Darius Garland of old, all-star Darius Garland. So I think they add some pieces around there. Ben Mathurin looked great. Brook Lopez looked good. John Collins, just add some more pieces around or give him some time to mesh. And I think they'll be fine. The only thing I worry about is the Clippers is just the Clippers. The Clippers curse. They were up handily last night. It should be no reason why they should have lost that game against, a great Steph Curry, an older Draymond Green, and an old Al Horford. Like, what are we talking about? Like, Klay Thompson who? Splash Bros who? Like, no. Al Horford came out there shooting that thing 4 or 5 threes in a row to take that game over. So credits and kudos to those guys. But I think Kawhi stays. He should stay. He's back home in LA. This is what he's been wanting for a very long time. And I don't see any other destination that, he would want to go to and be happy in or be Kawhi happy, whatever you call happy for Kawhi.
Great point. It's kind of a flat face happy. It's not the ear to ear grin happy. It's a little bit of a flat face. Let's go back to AM Pfeffer here. AM, let's talk Kawhi. Do you see him going back to the Clippers and or another team? And I know you've got a great breakdown on this because it involves fine print, legalese, investigations, possible rulings by the league office. I know this is right up your alley, dude.
Rick, I hope we have time. If you'll allow it, I want to go deeper into the Clippers and specifically who they've got on the team and what they should be doing in the offseason. If we could even have a larger conversation, bring everybody in. You cool with that?
Totally.
Okay, but before we do, I got to say this. B-Dot, I was having a very good day. Then you popped on the screen and suddenly I'm having a great day. Dude, I don't know what it is, man, but you elevate my mood by 15% when I love it, B-Dot. Really
man, that's good to hear, man. Man. I'm glad I'm able to do that for you, bro.
Seriously, I just feel it right here. So it's good to see you. All right, let's go with this. I want to answer your question first. Is Kawhi most likely going to be on the Clippers? Yeah, you're probably right, sadly. But should Lawrence Frank and Trent, not to be confused with Resner Redden, the GM of the Clippers that nobody actually knows, should they be running, not walking to the phone to get Kawhi off the team anywhere, any of the other teams who are willing to take? Yeah, they damn well should. Because this is where I want to deep dive. I want to bring everybody in. Guys, let's just go down the list. And I have to wear my glasses here because I'm getting old. Brogdon Bogdanovic, 36 years old. Brook Lopez, 38 years old. Nick Batum, 38 years old. Okay. Hold on, my
Bradley
screen.
Beal.
Yeah, Bradley Beal, 33 years old. Chris Dunn, 32 years old. But we've got where I want to deep dive is where we're really talking about these guys and their contracts. Okay? Because obviously Garland's going to get paid his $42 million, but John Collins is going to cost you $39 million next year, and he's currently unrestricted. I'd move off of him. Kawhi, I would absolutely trade him in his $50 million. The reason being is if you look at the rest of the league and the guys who are getting paid over $50 million, there's like 5 other guys, including, Anthony Davis, who's going to make $62 million, and Joel Embiid, who's making 58 next year, who Kawhi is so much better than these guys. And he's probably going to end up taking 50-ish, whether he signs the extension, right? Or he goes somewhere else for 2 years. He's cresting towards 35, but he's still a top 7 player in the league. Go get whatever you can for him. He's only got 1 year left, and the extension is going to be signed somewhere else. Get him off the Clippers. Do him a favor. Do the Clippers organization a favor. But going back to these guys, Bogdanovich, expiring contract. Brook Lopez, expiring contract. Chris Dunn, he had to hit specific metrics to make his contract guaranteed this year, including making all defensive team. That hasn't come out yet, but let me save you the suspense. He didn't do it. Get him off the team. John Collins, time to move on. Bradley Beal, player option. He's going to take it, but it's only costing you $6 million. Kawhi is a 15% trade kicker. What does that mean? The Clippers have to pay 15% of a $50-ish million salary, which is about $7.5 million to move off of him. Not the team taking him. The Clippers are going to have to pay that. They should. Right now, they're negative $80 million plus in the hole on their salary cap next year. Start over. Build from Darius Garland. Please, everybody else coming in this conversation, because otherwise I could just go on and on with everybody else on the team.
No, what you're saying makes a ton of sense, but Steve Ballmer is anti-tank because he's in LA and he's always fighting against the Lakers. And look, I agree with you, AM. Everything you said makes perfect sense. It's kind of like Ishbia in Phoenix. Ishbia does not want to tank. He just doesn't want to tank. And I appreciate that. He wants to win. Okay. And Ballmer's got that same mentality. So that's why I say that Kawhi's going to be back with the Clippers. But do I take a bite out of all that? And what do you see in your crystal ball as it pertains to Kawhi Leonard?
This might be a hot take, but I think the NBA has already concluded their investigation. I think they're just waiting for the Clippers to be eliminated. I believe there's going to be a punishment. I think there's going to be a punishment of some sort for Steve Ballmer and the Clippers organization. And I think Trent Redden, the GM of the Clippers, and Lawrence Frank, the president of basketball operations, aren't going to have to make this decision. I think the NBA is ultimately going to void Kawhi Leonard's contract, and he's ultimately going to become a free agent, which means any team can sign him. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't think. Listen, if there's one thing you can't do in professional sports besides gamble, you cannot circumvent the salary cap. That is a no-no. That is bad. Everybody is watching this. You can't sweep this situation under the rug. This was too out in the open back in August. This was being spoken about coming into the season. It was a major cloud over the Clippers organization. Just because we're not talking about it, and just because we've just gone through an 82-game season and have had a great couple of days in terms of the play-in tournament, it doesn't mean that this investigation has gone away. I think a decision's already been made. They're just waiting for the Clippers to lose and to be out of the playoffs, so then they can levy the punishment. That's how I feel about it. Something is coming. And I think Kawhi Leonard's ultimately going to end up in a different uniform, not because he doesn't want to be in LA. He's going to be forced to play someplace else. Because if you left the decision to Kawhi, Kawhi's in LA because he wants to be in LA. Everybody thought that when he was here in Toronto, in Canada, that the emotional purse strings are going to tug at him. He won a championship and he's going to stay. He was never staying in Toronto. It was a stopgap. It just happened to work out that he won a championship. His end game was to always be in LA. So if you leave the choice to him, he is not leaving Los Angeles. Again, I think the NBA is going to void his contract, and he's going to have to play elsewhere because he's going to be forced to play elsewhere.
Dwight, the irony of Kawhi Leonard, who forced his way out of the Clippers and forced SGA out and forced Paul George to join him, the irony of him having to make a decision and finish his career elsewhere and have to play somewhere else. That is the greatest take all week. I love you for it, man. That is awesome. I actually hope you're right. That would be amazing.
It'd be the most Clipper thing ever. I'll tell you that. That would be an SGA. They lost SGA through this whole process, right? History's never, ever, ever going to forget that. Okay. History's also never going to forget LaMelo Ball tripping Bam Adebayo. The debate is not whether he tripped him. The debate is not, was it dirty? I think those are pretty cut and dried, pretty chalky. The debate is, should LaMelo Ball have been ejected for tripping Bam? Erik Spoelstra said he should have been thrown out of the game. LaMelo Ball was fined $35,000 by the NBA for making unnecessary and reckless contact, their words, and he was assessed a flagrant foul too after the league reviewed the play. Dwight will love this. I kind of went into baseball play-by-play mode a little bit right there. Why? Because there's baseball on right now. Dwight, I could do the whole show in that cadence, by the way. I'm going to go first here, guys. The league is saying that LaMelo Ball should have been ejected, and the league is wrong in so many ways here. One, the league feels embarrassed that a major player got injured and it impacted the result of the game, and nothing was done about it on the court. So they poured hot sauce on the ruling. They exaggerated and inflated it to show everybody how tough they are, and they're flexing. It's way too late, brah. Way too late, okay? The body's already in the morgue, okay? I mean, you can't bring it back to life. The body's in the morgue, brah. There's nothing you can do here. They should have adjudicated this play the same way they would have if the refs called it in real time and going through the replay center. Two, LaMelo should not have been thrown out of this game. That was an FF1 by LaMelo Ball, not an FF2. That's where the hot sauce comes in. Oh, we gotta puff it up to an FF2 to make them think that we're on it. No, you're not on it, okay? They didn't even make a damn call in the game based on some technicality. Draymond Green, again, you mentioned common sense. Hello, let's just go review that. I don't care what the damn rule book says. We need to go review this. But they didn't. Draymond Green, this is the most important point of this whole thing. And I challenge any of you guys to refute me on this. And I mean, I'm not going to be mad at you. We can play tennis. But Draymond Green, when he tripped Karl Anthony Towns, do you remember that play? He got a flagrant foul 1. What was the difference between what Draymond did? I mean, look, they're slightly different plays. Draymond basically tackled Karl Anthony Towns, and LaMelo Ball went whoop and kind of pulled the chair out from under Bam. Both guys got tripped. Both guys went to the floor. Cat could have gotten injured, but didn't. Bam did get injured, and that sucks. The league also fined LaMelo $25,000 for using profane language after the game, when all kinds of players after the game drop F-bombs and S-bombs and don't get fined. So this is the league just, we're going to flex on LaMelo. But I'm laughing at you, league office, because you completely got this wrong. Let's go to B-Dot here. B-Dot, should LaMelo Ball have been ejected from that game?
No, I don't think so. I mean, as you see from the play, he was falling down, got hit in the head almost dang near twice, and he really just trying to feel where he is. And I don't think it was an intentional pull. You feel me? Like, not like the first one was earlier in the season where it looked like he intentionally tried to trip Bam when he was sober in the mind. But you can clearly see he hit his head. He hit the back of the knee hits the back of his head. He's bamboozled and trying to figure out what's going on. Boom, he gets it right there, and he really just grabbing on anything. I don't think it was an intentional pull. I hope you fall. You just go on the ground, you feel for bodies, and I just think it was wrong place, wrong time, and it sucked for Bam how he went airborne and came down on hey Doc, you know the medical term, rectal sternum, gluteus maximus, however you want to call it. But
it's called a tushy.
Sacroiliac.
There you go. Sacramento Kings.
Gastrocnemius contusion / sacral bone contusion.
There you go. SCMTE. Yep. But I don't think he should have been ejected.
Contusion.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he should be ejected.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think it was an intentional play. And like you said, Draymond has done the same thing before, and it was, assessed a flagrant 1. It just happened to be Bam, and it just happened to knock him out the game. If it didn't knock him out the game, I don't think it would be this much controversy. But him leaving the game and them losing by one on a layup from there, and their rim protector's not down there to, block that shot or contest it. So, that's how the pins fall sometimes. But I don't agree that he should be ejected for tripping Bam. Fine,
Doc.
With that.
Doc, come on in here, man. Should LaMelo Ball have been ejected?
Man, look at the video again. That strong ass ref was right there. He could have caught Bam. I'm sure if that was Dwight, he would have caught him. But but I just feel like, number one, there's no precedence for this, because I remember clearly Joel Embiid right there. You see it, the ref, you just missed it. But yeah, Joel Embiid actually did the same thing to Mitchell Robinson. And I just feel like,
Doc. Hey, Doc, that's a good point. Is that? I don't want to say a name and get it wrong, dude. That ref was in a good spot to kind of like maybe not catch him, but brace his fall a little bit. And you see,
look at that, right there. Moved out the way.
No, but hold on, fellas, hold on.
What, you would have caught him. You would have caught him.
Wait, no. The referee is looking to see if Bam's foot is out of bounds. He's not concerned about catching him. Come on now.
Yeah, the ball's out of his hand. I'm tired of you sticking up for the refs. Swallow your whistle.
No, but look, he's trying.
Dude, did you see the hard? Hold on. No. Hold on though. When he backpedaled, he looked down at his feet to make sure that his feet weren't getting rolled up on. Watch this. He's looking at his feet, not the stripe.
And then he wouldn't have to worry about his legs or his knees getting taken out. He just had to just put his hands on his back, and that was it. That would have been enough to soften the blow.
That's self-preservation.
Yeah, you got to look at the league for that. So they're hiring the wrong refs and not giving the refs
great point, dude.
So he was,
great
so that's one thing. Number two, what's his name? Joel Embiid did the same thing to Mitchell Robinson several years ago.
Right.
And I also think it's just a thing players do. They don't want the disadvantage of having 4 and 5. So if they fell into either play, a lot of times players will kind of like trip them up, not trying to hurt them. So I don't think LaMelo Ball was trying to hurt him. I don't think that was his intention. It wasn't a hit above the neck. It wasn't a bow, like really trying to take somebody out. He was just trying to slow up the other player so that they wouldn't have the advantage of 4 versus 5. It's just that Bam also doesn't know how to fall properly. You're supposed to put your hands out. It's an actual, it's really like a reflex that we're born with. And he just fell straight on his butt. And I just don't know. Obviously, that's a tough fall. That's happened to me before, but usually happens when you're in the air and you get low bridge, so your legs just get taken out from under you. So it was kind of equivalent of the same thing. It was unexpected. So I don't think he should have been ejected for that. The ref should have caught it. It should have been reviewed. It should have been like a flagrant 1. I think the only reason why people want it to be a flagrant 2 or be ejected is because he didn't come back. But it's intention as well. I don't think he was trying to injure him. He was just trying to make sure his team didn't have the advantage. The Miami Heat didn't have the advantage going down the other way.
So I just want to put a rubber stamp on that. That is the point of the show so far. Doc, bringing up the ref backpedaling. And again, I'm not saying he should have been there like a safety net under a trapeze artist, right? But, I mean, just brace it a little bit. I mean, you're not trust me, Bam Adebayo's butt means a lot more than your ankles, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, get in there. All right, Dwight Walton. That's all I'm going to do. Dwight, so should LaMelo have been ejected?
Had it been the regular season, absolutely. Because it would have been a flagrant 2, and he would have been suspended had it been the regular season. Because it's the playoffs, it's going to be a lot more lenient. As AM said earlier, and as we all know, the NBA is a star-driven league. So you're going to give a flagrant 1, and you're going to keep the star in the game. The unfortunate part, as my cousin just said, is that Bam Adebayo, I don't know if he broke the tailbone, fractured the tailbone, whatever the case may be, he was injured enough to not come back in the game. And Doc, I'm going to go against you. If you go back to the replay, LaMelo clearly looks at Bam's left ankle and grabs it. I don't think he was discombobulated. And just to me, And there's precedent. Again, I don't know if that game was earlier this season or from 2 seasons ago, but look at the replay here. He sees Bam's ankle and he grabs it. And to my cousin's point, maybe he was trying to stop the break. I don't know. But look, right here, there's precedent. He gets tripped, he's upset, and he grabs Bam's foot. There's precedent. I'm not sitting here calling him a dirty player, but it's twice he's done that to where he's trying to stop the break. Again, I think he sees Bam's ankle, he grabs it, didn't mean to hurt him, but it put him out of the game. So, because it's the playoffs, a flagrant one would have been fine by me, and not a suspension. I think the fine is enough, but the circumstances called for an ejection because I think this was intentional. He didn't mean to hurt him, but it was intentional as far as I'm concerned. Ejection, no, it's the playoffs. I get it. Heat Nation wants him suspended. Some fans out there want him suspended because Bam missed the game. And the reality is, Bam Adebayo not being in that game had a major impact on who won that game. Yes, I've been on the Charlotte Hornets bandwagon since January. I want to see them keep on going here further in the playoffs. But the reality is, defensively, the Heat were worse. They gave up 25 second chance points. LaMelo Ball's game-winning layup was a free road to the rim. Had Bam been there, who knows what could have happened. So Adebayo not being in that game had a major, major impact on what should have happened on Tuesday night. So depending on who you talk to, especially Heat Nation and Erik Spoelstra in particular, LaMelo Ball should have been ejected in that game. But because it's the playoffs, it's different. Had it been the regular season, he would have got a flagrant 2 and probably suspended for a game in the regular season.
That first play, he was trying to brace his fall, Dwight. He trying to brace his. You got hit in the head. You bro, if you fall on the ground, you trying to grab. I don't think in that heat in that second in that 1.3 second, Dwight, that he fell. Look, we watch it in the slow motion. Of course, it's gonna look like that. I don't think he got any spider senses like that for him to fall. Look, oh, they go Bam ankle, boom. He was already grabbing Bam's calf as he was coming down, and I just think it was. I just think it was a force of nature. I don't think it was on purpose like the first one was. The first clip, oh yes, because he was conscious and he knew exactly what he was doing. That first clip, yeah, the first time around, definitely intentional. This one, I just think it's just slow motion. I don't know, but like you said, it's to each his own. You know how we see it.
Mm-hmm. Doc, I actually agree with you. Another issue that people don't like, that one, yeah, that's obvious, right? He's frustrated. He doesn't even really commit to tripping him up. Right. He kind of just wants to slow him down, right? But LaMelo actually has a history of wrist injuries, okay? So look at Bam's, heavy person that he is about to fall. He kind of tries to get his wrists out the way too, but then he kind of cups it. So that's where, there's some follow through, but he's trying to get his body out the way of Bam falling. And I think he made Bam fall. At first, when I first saw, I thought he was just trying to protect his wrist. But there's a lot of stuff going on there. Ultimately, the intention is not there. But I'll say this about intention, and I've actually been fighting against my inner darkness, but just like thinking about karma. I don't really believe in karma, but I was like, it's kind of messed up how intentional foul took out the Miami Heat when they were intentionally fouling up 30, and if you check the comments. A lot of Kobe lovers were like, "Oh, that was for Kobe. That was for Kobe." Wow. I don't think Dwight that way, but I was really trying not to think that way. But the comments had me like, "Dang, I was just silent about it." But all I can say is intentional foul for intentional foul. Hey, it came at the wrong time. Goodbye.
I respectfully disagree with that take. Not a chance in hell. No way. Nope.
Intentional fouling goes wrong. When intentional fouling goes wrong, that's what happens. But anyway.
When unethically trying to be Kobe goes wrong, this is what happens in the play-in. Oh, my God. All right, let's bring in A.M. Pfeffer here, man. A.M., should LaMelo have been kicked out of the game?
100% should have been kicked out of the game. That was such a Bush League move. I hear what everybody's saying, and we're trying to like argue the finer timeline of him. The man grabbed his ankle and pulled. I don't care what you say. I don't care if it's the regular season. I don't care if it's the playoffs. This was intentional, and sadly, LaMelo Ball, who has been so good the last couple months of the season and turned into what you would almost consider a mature player, reverted back to payaso, Spanish for clown, jester. That's who he is. And he did this earlier in the season to Bam halfway, and this time he finished the job, and it was so Bush League and so out of line. And Bam was already falling, right? That's why he couldn't get his hands out there, because he probably right there was falling and would have had his hands behind him. And then boom, LaMelo pulls the rug out from underneath him, so he didn't have a chance to get his hands out to him, and lands directly on his ass and broke his tushy. So, like, whatever you want to say, LaMelo was so in the wrong, and the league can't allow that to happen. There are so many times when I look at this league and be like, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. This is not one of those times. I don't like what LaMelo Ball did. I don't like how he acted, and it sets a bad precedent that you get into the playoffs and then you're allowed to do something like that. He hurt another player, and whether he hurt him or not, he absolutely pulled that ankle hard enough. I mean, you think about a game later on when Donovan Clingan gets a flagrant one for wrapping his arms around Dylan Brooks and taking him to the ground. Brooks flopped. All right, you could have not even given Clingan the flagrant one.
That was a joke.
Ball, flagrant 2, out of the game. You do not do that to another player. There are times when guys in the league have jumped up and landed on another player who's been in the air and landed and came down, hurt the ankle. We know what Patrick Beverley does and the way he had hip checked a lot of guys. Ball was so Bush League, so out of line. I was legitimately pissed about this. Kick him out of the game.
Pat Bev has gone off the deep end, by the way.
If you can go back to the 2 replays, I don't know if it was this season, the initial one. Look at LaMelo's left arm. Does he have tattoos on him? If not, that first act was a couple of seasons ago. Let's go back to that. Does he have?
He's wearing a sleeve.
Yeah, that was a couple of seasons ago. He's also, you can see, he's
ago.
like,
that's not this
yeah,
year.
he's also like, yeah, he's not as defined muscularly either.
Yes, correct.
He's still kind of a youngin'. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So,
Good job, Dwight.
Nice.
Regardless, there's a precedent. He's done this before, and again, to me, if you really dissect the video, B-Dot, he knows that he gets it unintentionally. Adebayo's right knee hits him in the back of his head, so he grabs Adebayo's left ankle. Watch. He gets hit there, like, what the hell? Where's your ankle? And pulls it. That's how I see it.
Yeah. See the same thing.
What's wrong with that? It's just that Bam got hurt because he kneed him in the head. He doesn't know if it was intentional. So it happened in seconds.
It's too much to lash out, grab a guy's ankle, and
the ref should have caught him.
And
Bam's reflexes need to be tighter. Period in the story.
Bam's reflexes should be tighter? What are we talking about?
It's not that high of a fall. The reflex should have been better. He would have braced it if he has a history of wrist injuries too. That's why he didn't brace himself.
Fellas, I'm making a declaration right now. My cousin is a great doctor, but his insensitivity towards injuries makes 0 sense to me. I'm a New Yorker.
I don't like people making excuses.
He's tough as nails, man.
Okay.
He's an athlete. Have better reflexes. Come on.
Okay, Doc, let's stir the pot just a little bit more. I almost sent a tweet out about this, and I'm like, don't do it. And it's not a topic in our show, but it's a thought that I have had since watching that game. And Doc, I want you to set me straight. I thought Bam Adebayo should have gone back in that basketball game.
Oh,
So am at least to give it a go. And if you go out there and you're like, I just cannot move. But guys have landed on their sacral before, or their tailbone before, and come back into a game. I looked. I have not seen a report about a fracture. I know they ran tests. Have you guys seen? Has there been Sham's report? Bam suffered, maybe since we've been on the air. So just you can shut me up. I will go with your flow here. Did you have any thought that Bam could have gone back into that game? Do you think medically he could have gone back into that game to tough it out?
Of course.
Yes.
What do you think he's going to
yes,
say?
Rick. But in his defense, as I said, I guess a lot of times when I'm insensitive because I haven't had the same exact injury when it's like obviously you tear your ACL, you actually tear your Achilles, you break a bone, you're out, right? But I've actually been low bridge, but that was from a height of like jumping to dunk, right? And someone takes your legs out from under you and you fall from that height. That's different from where he's actually standing on the floor and kicks his leg up, then falls from that height. Regardless, it's a bone contusion. And I think what we would have wanted is usually when someone has concussion protocol, you see them in the back in the tunnel, they're trying to like run it out. They're trying to show that they can do it. He actually walked back in his own power. He was not carried into the locker room. Bam walked into the locker room. Am I correct? He walked on his own power back to the tunnel. So, yes, I agree with you, Rick. He should at least try to show that he could give it a go. And maybe if we saw him trying to run and couldn't give it a go in the back of the tunnel, we would have said, but, he has nothing to prove to us. The actual medical personnel should have said that. But I know from experience, when you get a bone contusion like that, you can't move because you literally can't do the full range of motion. So he probably thought he was going to be a detriment to his team. Like he would have been a actual liability. He probably wouldn't have been able to guard anybody. And so I could see that. But I think from your perspective, it does look like, he just fell on his butt. People fall all the time. But when you look at it, he was low bridge, literally was low bridge, and he fell, boom, right there. And all that weight, that's a soft tissue contusion and a bone contusion. I don't think it's a fracture, but it was enough for his range of motion to be impeded.
All right, I wanted to get your opinion on that. We don't have to spend a lot of time on that. And I want to make something clear. I'm a Bam Adebayo guy. I'm not sitting out here. I'm not calling him SOFT or any of that stuff. I was just curious on that because I know he's a tough guy, right? He's a game player. He's always in the 70s in games played. He really, really must have been jacked up. All right, let's move on. Do we agree? I want B-Dot to go first on this one. Do we agree with Charles Lee benching Kon Knueppel for Grant Williams and others in late game? So here was the scenario. Kon was left on the bench for the final 7:49 of regulation and all of overtime. That's like a full quarter at the end of the game, the most important 12 minutes of their season, no Kon Knueppel. The Hornets obviously won the game 127-126 in OT. Kon was not good. Didn't score in the first quarter. 2 of 12 shooting, 6 points in his first postseason game. B-Dot, were you okay with Kon? And Kon looked kind of shocked, kind of like shell-shocked. Maybe not in overtime, but in the fourth quarter, I think he was like, what is happening right now? No, I got to cheer. I can't look pissed. I got to I know the camera's on me. I got to look engaged. But he just had this look on his face like, what is happening right now? And the camera kept going to Charles Lee, too. They were talking about it a lot. I had the sound down on that game at the time. Anyway, B-Dot, did you agree with Charles Lee's decision to go elsewhere from Kon Knueppel at the end of that game?
Man, I agree and I also disagree. The reason why I disagree is because Kon cooked my parlay. All right? The one time of the year that he doesn't come through. And I would love him for him to be in that 7 minutes of the game so he can at least get a couple more threes up. But did they win? Yeah, they won. So I don't think the decision was wrong at all. That was literally he's had a perfect year, if we want to say so. That was his welcome to the league moment, I feel, just in a different way. The Charlotte Hornets has always been a team this whole year. There hasn't been one standout guy. Brandon Miller have a great game, and then Miles Bridges have a great game. LaMelo, Grant Williams has had a great season and great games throughout the year. And Kobe White, that's the reason they signed him for something like this. It's it's tough to go all in on a rookie, especially when you're fighting for a playoff spot and you guys get to that playoff game, win or lose, win or go home. And, excuse my language, he shit the bed. And which is understandable. That's why you're a team. And that's why Kobe White came in the game. And you see what he did. Because if Kobe White wasn't on this team, I'm pretty sure Kon would have gotten those minutes because, who would fill in for that. So all in all, it worked out. Kon has another chance to redeem himself. That playoffs, man, it's your first year in the league. It's a high stakes game, and you get those jitters. It happens. So I think the coach made a great move, and it resulted in them winning the game. And I think Kon comes back better than ever this upcoming game. So I agree. I agree with the benching of Kon for Grant Williams. And it gives you more size. Bam is out the game. Bam is out the game also, too. So more offensive rebound opportunities. Perfect. And Grant stretches the floor. And he's a hell of a defender. And he's a leader. He has championship experience. So us listing all those, you got Grant Williams, you got Kon Knueppel when we're talking about experience-wise. So I agree with the benching, 100%.
Love the takes. Let's go to A.M. Pfeffer here next. Did you agree with how Charles Lee worked Kon and benched him the last 12-ish minutes of the game?
I mean, agree? It's hard to say, but W is a W, and you can't disagree with the W. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you do it and you win, you're a genius. So, yeah, Charles Lee, great job. Kon Knueppel, there is the unwritten rule in any league, NBA or other, rookie on the road. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, obviously, he knew his guy doesn't have it, and he was riding other guys who have the experience and the expectation that they're going to do what he needs him to do to close out that game. We could talk for all day about Kobe White because he's been amazing the last couple months of the season, and he was amazing in that game, and he hit an amazing shot when necessary. And that's all that matters. Charles Lee lived to play another day for his team. Great move. Whether I agree or not, I'm sure as hell not going to disagree with it.
All right, Dwight, you're up next.
I've been on the Kon Knueppel bandwagon. I think he's the overwhelming rookie of the year this season. I know that straw polls came out the last couple of weeks of the season, and I think Cooper Flagg heard about the straw poll. The Dallas Mavericks organization knew they weren't making the playoffs, so they probably encouraged Cooper to go out there and just play loose and shoot every time he had the basketball. But what I will say, I don't agree with the benching, but it wasn't a spur of the moment benching. If you've been following the Hornets and Kon Knueppel specifically, he was in a slump going into the play-in game.
Yeah.
So I think once Charles Lee recognized that Knueppel didn't have it, this is where the acquisition of Kobe White comes into play. I'm not sure if the benching was for Grant Williams, but I think because of how Kobe White was playing, because of Kobe White's experience specifically in the play-in tournament, Kobe White has a 42-point game for the Bulls in this specific tournament. I think that played a part in the decision. Again, it wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. Kon hadn't been shooting the ball well. Yes, he broke records throughout the year, but the final 5 to 10 games of the season, he wasn't Kon Knueppel, right? And I think that's where this Rookie of the Year vote may be a lot closer than what I think it should be because he didn't finish the season strong. So while it resulted in a win for Charlotte, Charles Lee took a huge gamble because had the Hornets lost, we'd be talking a lot more, not as much as the controversy between LaMelo Ball and Bam Adebayo, but Kon Knueppel would be spoken about a lot more. Charles Lee will be spoken about a lot more had the Hornets lost that game. I think Kon will learn from that experience. I think Kon will play much better in Orlando on Friday, albeit a road game for a rookie player. But Kon is not going to want to sit on the bench again in the fourth quarter. I'm sure once that game ended, he's been in the gym, in his house, probably went to Duke, probably went to the practice facility. I think he's been shooting the ball ever since because he doesn't want to lose, doesn't want to play poorly on Friday night. So there was a combination of things, but having Kobe White on that roster made the decision a lot easier for Charles Lee to bench Kon Knueppel.
Yeah, by the way,
Before we
quick
go to the next person,
I think I said
I
think I said rookie on the
man.
road, and forgive me, quick mea culpa. I just meant rookie in his first playoff game because Dwight, you just reminded me obviously that the road game is coming up. Obviously, Charlotte was at home.
Yes.
My apologies. B-Dot, go ahead.
No, I just want to say a quick take. Dwight, I don't think if they would have lost that game, it would have been something mentioning about Kon Knueppel. I don't even think it would have been brought up. If anything, it would have been brought up that he shit the bed. I think it would have been on LaMelo on top of the injury and him shooting 2 for 18 from the 3-point line. You know, the inefficiency game he had. Yeah, I think that would have overshadowed.
Combined, LaMelo and Kon were 2 for 22 from 3.
That's what I'm saying.
Combined.
That's what I'm saying. So I think, So I think it would have been their bad play versus him getting benched and them losing the game. I think it would have been majority on the LaMelo. Yeah, just because.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Yeah, just the impact. Yeah. That's all I want to say.
Hey, Dr. X, let's go to Money Earning Mount Vernon for your take on by way of Glendale, California, in North LA. How are you feeling about Kon Knueppel on the bench? Give us your take on this.
I thought it was perfect. Sometimes, as a coach, you got to make the tough calls. You have to have a pulse on the team. You have to have a pulse in your players. And I think Charles Lee knew that Kon didn't have, and as Dwight was saying, he was in a sort of a slump. He kind of hit a rookie wall mid-game, and sometimes he looked deer in headlights. Not that he was afraid, but, sometimes you're just kind of baffled. Dang, my shot's not falling. They need me right now. This is a one-game elimination. We play with that pressure in the TBT with our teams. It's like you got to go with who's the hot hand. And truth be told, Grant Williams hit a 3 earlier in the game. He's 1 of 5. Kon is 0 of 6 when you finally look at it. And then if you look at Grant Williams, he adds that toughness. He has that experience, championship experience. And, when with Bam out, as B-Dot was saying, you also had a chance to get more toughness in there in addition to help out Diabate. And so I just felt like he also stretched the floor. It was the right move to make. And ultimately, he looks like the smart coach because it worked. And then now Kon gets a chance to not that he was in the doghouse, but it was just more like, okay, look, we believe in you, but we had to go with the hot hand, and it ultimately worked. And here's another chance. Here's another bite at the apple. You're a starter, and here's another chance to prove your worth. But ultimately, he's playing with house money. He's a rookie, and he had a great year. He's probably going to be Rookie of the Year. And this is just another, game that will help with his experience. And so, I'm sure most players have seen this done before, where if a player didn't have it, another player has it, you bring him off the bench. It's just that Grant Williams did a lot of boneheaded things as well during that time, which were kind of annoying to see. If you guys are watching, I know we're in the group chat, and there were some things that Grant Williams did that were questionable. But Grant did hit a 3. He was 1 of 5, and they were struggling to hit threes, and he probably thought he might hit another one.
Yeah, he missed a big corner 3 late in that game. But look, I'm a Grant Williams guy. I like Grant Williams overall. I know a lot of people like to diss him and all this kind of stuff. I'm going to be honest with you guys. You guys have kind of won me over here. I wasn't in my feelings about, but I was kind of when you're kind of hot and bothered, like how Steve Kerr triggers me. It wasn't like that, but it was like, damn, you wonder about psyche, you wonder about, but you guys have made but they won the game. Okay. Dwight, I completely agree with you. Had they lost the game, I think holy HE double hockey sticks would have rained down on Charles Lee. You know how the media works. It's all armchair quarterbacking. And so Dot, love you, but I'm with Dwight on that one. I think that would have been a bad couple days for Charles Lee. And think about this. If they lose that game, Kon Knueppel gets benched into the offseason. Okay. All of the questions that come up with that. You didn't even get to finish your rookie season and your Rookie of the Year. How? It just would have been weird, right? So good for Charlotte that they won this game. But it worked. So I'm not going to sit here and bang on Charles Lee. It worked. I just have this vibe, right? Like, Kon helped you get here. You're not here without Kon, and you're a young, developing team. And so you've got these two different ways to coach, right? We're going to try to win and develop at the same time, or screw the development thing right now. We're just trying to win this game today. And that's what Charles Lee did. And I have to appreciate that, especially because it worked. Let's move on to some predictions, fellas, and let's stick with Charlotte, okay? I want AM Pfeffer to go first on this one. This is going to be a whole bunch of predictions right now. Get your popcorn, fans. This is Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. It is Rick Hamlet, Brandon Armstrong, Dr. Phil McDonald, AM Pfeffer, and Dwight Walton at your service. We have Jason Arambulo and Kai Josephson behind the glass. Let's get to Friday's games in the PIT. These, of course, are death games. These are games for the 8th seed and the right to play either OKC or Detroit. Pack a lunch, have fun. Charlotte at Orlando. AM Pfeffer, you go first. Who wins that game on Friday night?
Charlotte Magic had their chance. They needed to get it done against Philadelphia. They didn't do it. They are a team on the decline, obviously. And it's such a shame because, again, on paper, we talked about this the other day, they're such a better team than Philadelphia, but they couldn't get over the hump. Paolo was not good. I'm sure we'll talk more about that, whatever it may be. And obviously, the much maligned Jamal Mosley. This team, he's on his way out, clearly, and this team is ready to be done for the season. Charlotte is on the ascension, and Kon Knueppel is going to drop 23 on them on the road after my mea culpa. That's what's happening. Charlotte wins that game. They are going to the playoffs. They are ready for the Detroit Pistons. I'm feeling it.
All right, I'm going to go to B-Dot next because I also have a gambling question for B-Dot. I agree with you, and I think Dwight said it too, and maybe all of you have said. I think Kon Knueppel's going to have a game on Friday night. I think he's going because Suggs is going to be all tangled up with LaMelo Ball, right? And so I think Kon's going to have better looks, and he had the STB game to make an acronym out of what B-Dot was saying. And so I think so what goes around comes around, right? The law of averages and all that kind of stuff. By the way, that was an inadvertent cymbal crash. If you guys heard that, it runs right over here. B-Dot. So 2-part question. Who wins Charlotte at Orlando? See? Who wins Charlotte at Orlando? and are you going to play the over on Kon Knueppel in either the point or the 3-ball category?
Charlotte's definitely winning. Orlando, Franz has not been great. He hasn't been good at all since he's come back.
Overrated.
Hey, you guys are taking him over Austin Reeves.
I did not hear his name one time on the broadcast last night. Not once. Not one time.
Hey, Franz gets a pass for some reason because he's STBing the last 15 games he's played. They're definitely losing. I'm taking Kon for 2.5 threes or more made threes, and I'm taking him over 7 attempts for threes. I give him 12 points. He's coming back and better. Orlando Magic, they oh my goodness. They so much potential. They got the names, they got the players that look good on paper. Desmond Bane had a hell of a game. Paolo still hasn't figured it out. Wendell Carter, he's going to play his role. Anthony Black, it's tough. Jalen Suggs, you got to give us more, bro. You can't give us 2, 8, and 8. You're not Rajon Rondo. Your impact on the game isn't as
what
crazy.
What do you think is happening in that arena on Friday night? Do you think Orlando even fills out the arena? Are there enough people? Are they going to be cheering for their team?
Yeah.
I mean, are they just hoping for the offseason? What do you think, Rick?
It's going to be back.
I'm teasing. Of course, it's a playing game. Of course, they're going to fill it out. But is it going to be fire in the arena the same way it was in Charlotte, or does everybody in that arena holding their collective breath like this team should be?
Well, let me take you into Kia Center is what it's called right now. Shout out to Joel Glass. I'd be going, but I bought tickets to the Goose concert weeks ago, not knowing that otherwise I'd be going to Goose. I love Goose. Otherwise, I'd be going to Orlando tomorrow night to watch that game, so I won't be able to go. But you guys know Orlando, right? It's a laid-back city right? It's a great city. I freaking love Orlando, but it's a laid back city. Some might call it quiet. Some might call it sleepy. So it's not, and Doc's going to love this. It's not a Philly crowd. It's not a Boston crowd. It's not a New York crowd. It's not even an LA or a Chicago crowd. It's just more laid back. Like, let's put it this way. If the Magic are playing well, they're going to get up and cheer, okay? But if suddenly Charlotte gets up 10, you're not going to hear a pin drop in that arena, okay? Does that anyway, so go ahead. I don't forget where we left off, but I just wanted to take you into that vibe. Where are we right now? I've kind of lost track.
Oh, no, yeah, I just got to put it over, and they're going to win.
Dwight's on.
Okay, so late, yeah. Dr. X, have you gone on this one yet?
No, I have not. I'll say this,
Hit us,
and
man.
here's my hot take. It's a win-win for me as a Knicks fan. Whether the Magic or the Hornets win, both teams I think are going to beat Detroit Pistons in the first round. They don't match up well, and honestly speaking, Kobe White is going to be a problem. Who's better, Dennis Jenkins or Kobe White? I'm just talking about matchups, right? Size-wise, I think the Magic are more poised to win in the first round against Detroit Pistons. Paulo is not playing well right now, but who's stopping Paulo on Detroit Pistons? Who's stopping Franz Wagner? I think right now, Franz has been playing well, but I think in the same series, they know they have a chance to knock the Pistons out. They will, and they play tough. So whatever toughness Detroit comes with, you best believe that Orlando is already built to play that way the whole series.
Who's stopping them? They are themselves. They're stopping them. They don't need – Detroit doesn't need to do much.
They're not the Celtics.
Paulo and Franz hasn't proved anything. We got to stop doing this whole – do they have the potential to be Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum? No. Do they have the potential to be Eddie George and Nick Van Exel? That's who we need to be comparing them to, okay? All right? They ain't done nothing.
Just know that.
I think he means Eddie Jones. Oh, yeah, no, he means Eddie Jones.
Eddie Jones, not Eddie George.
Hey, we going with Eddie George.
Basketball.
What's going on tonight? They're going to get ran out that building.
Eddie Jones.
They're going to get ran out that building. We're going with Eddie George.
I love Eddie
George.
George.
They both ball head, so we can take either one.
Right.
You know what?
Or Eddie.
Which one of those guys won the Heisman Trophy? Was it Eddie George or Eddie Jones? I forget.
Exactly.
So I'll actually put a bow on this, Rick. So I'll also say that I want the Hornets to win because of story and because of the fight that happened earlier, and I just feel like they would, potentially give the Pistons a run for their money and just be fun to watch. But I think, honestly speaking, I think the Pistons should win that because they ended up winning a lot of those games that they did match up with, and most recent with Kobe White on the team. But I think if the Magic do win, I think the Magic match up better with Detroit. But I want the Hornets to win. But if the Magic win, Detroit better watch out. That's going to be equivalent.
You don't want the Hornets to win because you don't want to have to admit that Dwight was correct since
About
January.
what?
You don't want the Hornets to win. You don't because
About
if
what?
they win, you have to admit that Dwight was correct about the Charlotte Hornets this whole time.
No, I never said he was wrong about the. I never said he was wrong.
Okay, all right.
They're playing team. They're playing team that has to. They're playing team that has to play 2 games to make it to the playoffs. So I mean,
hey, I was just trying to cause a little friction. I just wanted to see. I wanted to see what was
There
going to
you
happen.
go.
I like the
You didn't
story.
take the bait.
Knows the deal.
You didn't take the bait. You got it, Doc. You didn't take the bait.
The only thing I didn't appreciate was when they blew the Knicks out. That's the only thing I didn't appreciate all season. But I love the story. I love how they play. I love watching them play. But I will love watching them play a lot more against the Detroit Pistons. But hey, if the Magic win, I'm going with the Magic against the Detroit Pistons.
I love it. You guys were so right that he hates the Pistons more than I hate the Cavaliers. I got to give it to you guys.
1,000%.
Right again. Right again. You guys hit the bullseye with that one.
Let's go.
I love it.
Regular
Dwight hit
season
us,
team.
man.
That's all they are. It's a regular season team.
Anyway, okay.
Who knows it?
Listen,
That's why he's going to be talking about the Celtics. That's why he's not going to talk about Detroit anymore for the rest of the season. All you're going to talk about is the Celtics. That's all you're going to talk about.
Listen, this is tough for me because I'm on the Hornets bandwagon. However, I understand the turmoil that is the Orlando Magic. The coaching situation has pretty much been, it's a fait accompli. I think Jamal Mosley, unfortunately, is going to lose his job, whether they win or not. We're going to sit here and question. Sometimes I question how tall and how much does Paolo Banchero weigh? Because he's 6'10", 260 pounds, but he plays like he's 6 foot, 180 pounds. Like, dude, get your butt down in the low post. Put your head down and get to the basket. My concern for the Charlotte Hornets is that the game is on the road. I think the Kia Center is going to be 20,000 strong on Friday night. I think it's going to be loud in there. And despite the turmoil that is inside that Magic locker room, if all of those guys decide and they say, you know what, let's give our home fans a show. If they show up, I don't think the game's going to be close. As much as I love Kon Knueppel, Brandon Miller, and that whole roster of the Charlotte Hornets, if the Magic put it together for one night, this is win or go home, fellas. It's not a series. It's one night. The Magic are at home. I think the Magic are going to win. Also, for as much as I've thrown LaMelo Ball his flowers in terms of his maturity and conforming to a winning situation, we got the full LaMelo Ball experience against the Miami Heat. I don't understand how he ended up being a plus 15 in that game. He was grossly inefficient. He was 12 for 31 from the field. He had that incident with Bam Adebayo. He turned the ball over, which gave the Heat a chance to win the game, compounds it by fouling Tyler Hero on a three. It was mind-blowing how LaMelo Ball was playing on Tuesday. How he was a plus 15, please tell me. I don't understand. Then he manages to make the game-winning layup.
To a couple guys.
So I don't trust LaMelo Ball right now. I don't know how he's going to react on the road in a hostile environment. The Kia Center is going to be rocking on Friday night. Again, the players have to make the decision on the Magic. Do we go out with a fight, or do we remain fractured because some of us don't want Jamal Mosley to be our coach? So again, it depends on the circumstance. The key for me is LaMelo Ball. Are we going to get the mature, conformed LaMelo Ball, or are we going to get the full experience that we got against the Miami Heat? I'm leaning towards the Miami Heat, unfortunately, and I think the Magic, because they're hosting it, because the game is at home, I think the Magic will win. Kon Knueppel may shoot the ball well. He may play well. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think the Magic win on Friday night.
Wow. Okay. I got Charlotte in this one. Paolo Banchero said after losing to Philly about the matchup with Charlotte, quote, they've kicked our ass this year, and they're going to do it again. Charlotte's going to beat Orlando, and it might get out of hand. Kon is going off in this game, guys, and Desmond Bane's not going to be able to carry the overrated Franz Wagner to the winner's circle in this one. The Magic, unfortunately, are going to let go of Jamal Mosley after this game, and Jamal Mosley will quickly be picked up by another NBA team, by the way, not unlike what happened with Ime Udoka, obviously for very, very different departure reasons. I want to say that. I have to own up. I got to take an L, guys. I got to take an L. And I'm gracious about losing. I did not win the championship in the Cam Dynasty this year. Won 2 in a row, going for a three-peat, and I lost in the semis, actually. Didn't even make the finals. And cordially and graciously congratulated the winner, okay? Unlike Gino Auriemma. So I am a gracious loser. I am not a sore loser like Gino Auriemma. I must admit, Paolo Banchero's not that dude. He should be. He could be. But he's not. Paolo against Philadelphia was a train wreck. And we're talking about one of those really, really terrible train wrecks you see on CNN where it's like, I mean, just like twisted metal, that bad of a train wreck. 18 points, 6 turnovers, 7 of 22, 0 of 5 from 3, and Dwight minus 17. Okay? His basketball IQ just is not there. His shot selection sucks. His decision-making with the ball sucks. It's not even close to where it needs to be. He is blessed with the bod, the strength, the talent, the ability to be a dominant player in this league. He's already been an all-star. He was rookie of the year, first overall pick. This guy should be a savage beast by now in the NBA, but he's not. Why? Lack of development, okay? And why hasn't there been enough development here in terms of working on a post game, developing the 3-ball, getting a better handle? Remember, Jaylen Brown had a problem with the left. Okay, he fixed that, right? Okay, work on it, bro. Don't go out like Ben Simmons. I'm just good the way I am. You're out of the league now, buddy, with that attitude, okay? Paolo Banchero's intangibles are not there, guys. This is an intangible problem. All of the tangibles are there, clearly, right? The intangibles are not. And you could say that they're maybe kind of terrible. He's obviously not a good leader. He's trying right now to get his coach whacked, according to reports. And they're not mentioning him by name, but one of the top players on the team is going to give the team an ultimatum, him or the coach. Do you think that's Franz Wagner? Do you think that's Desmond Bain? Do you think that's Jalen Suggs? No. Who is it? We know who it is, okay? That's bad leadership, all right? Jamal Moses is a hell of a guy and a hell of a coach, but you don't like him for some reason, okay? That's bull crap. He does not have a high motor, all right? And he's not an intelligent player. And so I got Charlotte winning this one. Let's move on to Golden State and Phoenix, guys, and let's put a timer on this one. We got to kind of speed it up just a little bit. Not a ton, just a little bit. Golden State at Phoenix. I want Dr. X to go first on this one. Dr. X, who you got, the Warriors or the Suns in a 60-second clock? Wow, they gave you a 45-second clock. They'd be tough.
I know, I'm okay with it. I'm good with it. Unfortunately, like I always say who I want to win, right? And then I go to who I think will win. I want the Suns to win. I just feel like I'm tired of seeing the Golden State Warriors. The fact they don't have Jimmy Butler is kind of like a buzzkill. I don't want to see them try to beat OKC and then not do it, and then have to deal with all the Draymond Green stuff. And I'm with you, Rick. You've sold me on the whole Steve Kerr saga. So I don't want to see the Warriors continue to win. It was great seeing them play yesterday. I forgot that Chris Porzingis was actually going to play, and then he finally played well. That was great to see. Al Horford did really well as well, so good for him. I just felt like the Suns played better all year, and they were, they're a higher seed. And I want the Suns to win. I think they will.
It's funny that you say that because I forget. AM was going through the Clippers roster, and he mentioned Bradley Beal, and I was like, I had completely forgotten that Bradley Beal was on the Clippers, frankly, even in the NBA. B-Dot, in 60 seconds, or maybe just a little bit more, who wins? Golden State at Phoenix?
Golden State, man. I mean, as much as I want to say Phoenix, we got to start talking about, oh, man, they're gonna kill me for this one. We got to start talking about Devin Butler, bro, being at 1A. Is he a 2A guy? Is he a second option? Can they win as him being the main guy? They had a great chance. I was at the game the other night, and I'm sitting here looking like, okay, they made this comeback. Jalen Green looked great. Dylan Brooks did what he needed to do, but Devin Booker didn't look that well at the end. And then we go to the old guys, and they're hooping. They're like they've been here before. I'm going, and Steph always gives Phoenix fits. And that crowd is going to be electrifying, but it's not going to be what is compared to what it was like in LA the other night. So I think Steph Curry has another hell of a game. Hopefully Draymond, that knee is all good and well, because I know he tweaked it a little bit. But I'm going with Golden State. As much as I believe in Phoenix,
that's a problem.
Steph Chef. It's a problem, Dwight. Is it bad?
Listen, the way he was grabbing at it and where he grabbed, I've had that injury. It ain't no fun. Ain't no fun.
Well, him and LeBron are best friends. So if LeBron go ahead and shoot him some stuff, he go ahead and put it in that knee. I think he'll be perfectly fine.
Hey! Don't start
I ain't insinuating nothing.
Don't start that.
I'm saying because LeBron James spends $1.5 million on his body during the summer. So I'm saying whatever his trainer gives him. I ain't say that S word. I ain't say that ST word.
Yeah, no, he's talking about BioFreeze. He's just talking about BioFreeze, bro. Just put some BioFreeze on that stuff. You guys, the MVP of me being a drummer is BioFreeze. I'm telling you that right now. I freaking love BioFreeze. You don't think my 56-year-old ass gets aches and pains from drumming all day? It does. BioFreeze for the win, baby. All right,
I think all in all is a toss-up, but I'm going with the chef. Got to go with the chef.
Understood. We got a Phoenix call. We got a Golden State call. Dwight Walton, who you got in this one?
I'm with Dot. I'm a believer now. Steph Curry, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford. You know what? Rick, you're going to hate me. You're going to hate me. You got to give Steve Kerr credit, my friend. Why? Al Horford was terrible in the first half. Terrible. Stuck with him, put him in the game in the fourth quarter, and what does Horford do? Goes on a heater. Momentum shot after momentum shot. It allowed Steph Curry to come and finish the deal. It allowed Draymond Green to finish the deal. You know, Kristaps Porzingis, did he even play in the fourth quarter? Maybe at the beginning. But that final 9 minutes of the fourth quarter was a masterclass by Steph, Draymond, and Al Horford. They outscored the Clippers, 43-25? Something like that? Dude, it was a crazy run. The Warriors turned back the clock for 9 minutes. It was great to see. I think they're riding that momentum on the flight to Phoenix. I think they're going to beat Phoenix on Friday night.
Woo, I love it. AM Pfeffer, come on, man. We got a nice debate going here.
I don't know what the hell the Warriors are doing and why they wanted to win the Clippers game in the first place. And I don't know if they want to win this game, but I'm still going with Phoenix. Look, it's not happening again for the Warriors. They shot 57% from the field, just under 50% from three-pointers. I mean, Horford, the efficiency, Kristaps, the efficiency, Gooey Santos. I like to call him Gooey Santos. I mean, he had 20 points. That's not happening again. Like, the Phoenix Suns, all right? The Phoenix Suns, and they showed you who they really are when they want to. They are offensively deficient. We know that. But Jalen Green is not shooting 30-plus shots again. I assure you the coach is not allowing that to happen. And Devin Booker only shoots 17 the other night. Devin Booker's taken 25-plus shots this coming game, and they can play bully ball when they want to. Dylan Brooks is pissed off. He had a great game the other night, and they still lost, and he fouled out at the end. And if it wasn't for Deni Avdija and his heroics, Phoenix would have won that game. They're back at home. They got the crowd behind them. They can clamp down defensively. Offensively, they can't match up with what Kerr puts in motion up there, but I don't think that they have to. And I think Devin Booker, as Dennis Scott was talking about the other night, he was going to be the best player on the court. Well, for whatever reason, oh yeah, right, we got a clock on this. Jalen Green took way too many shots. Booker shows up this time around. Phoenix wins this game.
Hold on, Rick. Hold on, Rick, if I can say something. AM, to your point about Jalen Green, I saw it from the jump ball. It's like he wanted to prove a point that he was horrible last season for Houston in the playoffs. It's like he wanted to prove to everybody that I am not that guy. There's a reason
he was hooping.
The Rockets. It's the reason why the Rockets traded you, Jalen Green. So it's like he made it a point in his head. I don't care who's on the court. I know I've got Devin Booker, Colin Gillespie. I got all these guys out, Dylan Brooks. But you know what? I'm doing this for myself, to prove to myself and to everyone that I am not that guy from Houston. He basically shot the Suns out of the game on Friday night. Yes, he had 35 points, but it was selfish. You could tell it was selfish.
Wow.
Dre was sitting courtside too. She was sitting right there. I looked at her. Dre was right there.
Oh, yeah.
I would have shot 35 times too. Yeah, wifey was right
He
there.
said I would have shot 35 times too. Oh my
I
God,
would have
that's
shot
hilarious.
that thing.
Hey, Dot. Like Steve Smith always told me, you got to give yourself a chance.
Come on now,
You
Rick.
got to
Come
give
on.
yourself.
Come on.
Is Grayson Allen injured?
Pardon me?
Yes.
No, go ahead. Yes. Okay.
He got hurt against the Lakers. Yes.
My bad, Rick. Too. Sorry.
No, you're good. But they got Royce O'Neal, man. They're going to be good. They got RON. I got Suns, so it's 3-2 Suns. This is a good debate right here. It's going to be a hell of a game, actually. Devin Booker's going to rally, guys. To answer your question, Devin Booker's not a championship Batman. He's a championship Robin, right? Damian Lillard is a championship Robin, not a championship Batman. Kyrie Irving is a championship Robin, not a championship Batman. So I think that's where Devin Booker kind of falls. But Dillon Brooks is going to bring Steph Curry down a little bit. Suns are going to win a thriller. And then it's Suns against OKC. And hopefully after Golden State season ends, Steve Kerr will go back into TV because there's no money left on his contract after this year. And after Golden State loses, Rick forfeit the game. Celebrini will retire and play golf for the rest of his life. But just know, if you want Celebrini in your foursome, okay, he's going to be load managing on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. So you can't golf with Celebrini on Tuesdays, Thursdays, or Sundays. All of the other days, he'll play 18 with you, but he's load managing the other days, okay? And basically forfeiting those matches. All right, let's move on to me and Rick, man, we go way back.
Rick, the mere fact we have a still photo of Rick Celebrini says it all. You've made this guy famous, man. Like, what the hell?
Celebrity Celebrini on BTS.
Let's go. Our guys are the best. I'm telling you, Kai Josephson, Jason Arambulu, they are the best, man. They are on it. Okay, so let's get to this again. 60-second clock on this one. I want Dr. X to go first on this one. Doc, Sixers at Celtics. Who you got in this one?
Sixers at Celtics.
Don't even think, cuz.
Game one or for the series?
Yeah, who wins the series and how many games?
I think it's going to be Philadelphia is going to win the series, and they're going to win it in 7 games. You asked me a question.
Beat out left. Beat out left. He literally left the show.
And I'll tell you why. Come
on, man.
Paul George has something to prove. And I think Paul George right now is better than Jason Tatum right now. Okay?
What?
And then you have Maxey versus Brown. Maxey's gonna win that matchup. Yep. They're just more hungry. I think VJ Edgecombe is gonna the same thing that happened the first game of the season is gonna happen again for this series. Philadelphia is ready for Boston. Just like all those Philly fans, Philly is ready for Boston. And guess what? Kristaps Porzingis is not walking through that door. All the heroics you saw yesterday were former Celtic players. Am I right? Al Horford hits 4 3-pointers in a row. Then you have freaking Kristaps Porzingis looking like he was in the Knicks in his first and second year. And then you had Drew Holiday, who actually helped, who was getting interviewed at post game because he was the one that really galvanized that team to beat the Suns. Those players are not walking through the door. That's what made. I mean, people were thinking that the Celtics were going to be an actual playing team at the beginning of the season. So Jaylen Brown is going to be great. Yes, we know that, but I just feel like it's a matchup issue for the Boston Celtics, and they're going to lose this series, like they also did when they played the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat was up 3-1, and they tried to come back in Game 7, and Jason Tatum twisted his ankle.
It was 3-0.
Well, whatever, exactly. That's my point. So that's the Celtics team we're dealing with right now. That's the Celtics team. They had to bring in dogs for them to become the Celtics team that actually won the championship. And all those guys are gone. So you're going to be left with the same old Celtics team that was getting beat by the Miami Heat. So that's what's happening here.
Yo, Rick,
All right.
I'll go next.
We have a viral moment. Next. Hey, quickly, B-Dot, what do we got going on here? What do we got going on here on the dome, B-Dot? Is that a clown?
I had to just turn into a New Yorker and become Larry David and disown this New Yorker guy right here. Because with that take right there, that just messed me up. That just curbed my enthusiam. You know,
there you
so
go.
That I had.
Get a close up.
There we go. Right, boom. Come on. I just had to have a Larry David moment. Yeah. So
best comedy of all time.
I'm gonna let Dwight go ahead and take it away because that just grinded my gears.
I'll go next. Celtics
David.
in 4. Celtics in 4. Next, I'm finished.
Ditto. Sweep. I don't know what kind of sweep you want. Sweep.
Celtics in 4. Next, I'm done.
AM, you're next.
That's it.
All through Doc's diatribe, I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, can I get there with Doc? I'm like, Andre Drummond, he's doing things off the bench. Quentin Grimes was kind of like a sixth man of the year the first time, right? Like the first half of the year. I'm like, Kelly Oubre Jr., like he's playing for – can I get there? No, man, I can't get there. Celtics in 5. I'll give Philadelphia one game. They're going to sneak it. But come on, Celtics in 5. I'm done. Dot?
I love it. You said, can I get there? That's just funny way of phrasing that. Just a super tiny quick shout out. My man, I'm a big Andre Drummond fan. I used to interview him a lot back in the day. He's such a cool freaking dude.
You know why?
Such a fantastic
player. Where's he from, Rick? Where's he from?
Money earned in Mount Vernon.
Exactly. He's from Money earned in Mount Vernon. He's Jamaican, and he's still rebounding. And whoever the center is for the Celtics ain't going to have that type of series against them. And he's hitting threes now. And he's hitting threes with confidence.
Yeah, Dre hit the dagger and then looks at the crowd and gives them the gooseneck afterward. I was like, yeah, Dre, let's go. Let's end the team.
They're dangerous.
You saw how the team mobbed him after that, right?
Celtics in 4. Celtics in 4. Next.
You don't have to zoom in on Dwight. That doesn't.
Next. Celtics in 4.
Oh my gosh!
Sorry, Rick. I just had to throw he was money under Mount Vernon. But yeah, what's your pick?
Yeah, I got Celtics in 5. I'm not gonna like you guys. Tyrese Maxey's just gonna be great for one game. I feel game 3 or game 4 in Philly. Who knows if Joel Embiid's gonna play? I don't even care anymore. I'm just so over it. And so Boston's gonna win this series, and it's gonna be light work. Ooh. I'm going to give you a James Brown. Oh, okay, because we got Raptors Cavaliers on the docket next, all right? All right, I'll go first.
Wait. Did we get B-Dot? B-Dot, did you give?
Yeah, you said it was.
Yep. You seen by my reaction. You see the Celtics and Celtics.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Celtics in 3.
Can I add something? The type of disrespect that Tyrese Maxey's getting so much disrespect from you guys right now.
Oh, there's no disrespect.
No, he's not. No, it's not.
Drew Holiday is not walking through that door to defend Tyrese Maxey. Who's guarding Tyrese Maxey? Who?
We don't care. Tyrese can listen.
Who is guarding Tyrese Maxey?
Derek White will be on Max.
No one is disrespecting Tyrese. Tyrese is not scoring 87 points, though. That's all I'm saying. He can score as many as he need. And who? Hold on, baby. Hold on. Because
Grimes,
got me PMS
Paul
right
George.
No, we're not believing in Grimes. No, we're not.
She agrees with me.
Baby, you look so pretty. We're not believing in Grimes. Grimes on my fantasy team and didn't do nothing. We're definitely not believing in. Stop calling him playoff P, okay? We're not believing in Paul George.
Kelly Oubre is going to be defending.
Kelly Oubre had his best shooting from 3 this year. He had his best shooting from 3, but that's it. We're not believing in Bona. Andre is my friend, but if we're living with Andre hitting the dagger, if we're living with Andre hitting the dagger to win, we're gonna live with that. Other than that, who else?
Is Paul George still an elite defender? Is Paul George still an elite defender? Yes or no?
I don't know if Paul George is still an elite Paul George.
You don't think so?
I don't believe so.
I still think he's an elite defender. He's going to defend
fellas.
Jaylen Brown, and you're going to have Kelly Oubre against Jason Tatum. And then who's guarding Maxey? And then you have BJ Epstein who has nothing to lose. He has that mentality. He plays like a vet already. I'm telling you guys. And then you have
Cavaliers versus Toronto Raptors. We have Cavaliers and Toronto Raptors next on the docket.
You guys don't see what my cousin is doing. You don't see what my cousin's doing? My cousin in his brain wants to eliminate Detroit and Boston so the Knicks just have a free path. That's all he wants.
Yes.
That's all we don't need that. I'm ready for all the smoke. As a New Yorker, we'll beat all of them. Whoever's in front of us. I'm just letting you know that those teams, all those teams are actually pretenders. Those teams are pretenders. They had a great regular season. They had a great regular season, and that's all it is. They're all pretenders.
Knicks in the finals.
That's not the same Boston team. Pretenders. Both teams are pretenders, and we're about to get exposed. The only team that's actually a real team that's actually a real team that I think is a really good team is the Cleveland Cavaliers. No, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Knicks. Okay. That's going to be the Eastern Conference Finals. Cleveland Cavaliers and the Knicks. Yeah. That's what you'll see.
And then what? And then what, Phil? The Knicks in 4? What?
No, the Knicks are probably in 6. It's going to be a hard road all the way there. But the Knicks will win those series.
Cleveland will not get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Not this year.
Who's stopping them? Who's stopping them, Dwight? Go ahead. You go first. Who's stopping them?
Toronto Raptors.
Detroit.
The Toronto Raptors.
Oh, no, he said, don't speak for Dwight. Dwight said Detroit. So he thinks he's going to beat the Raptors. There goes the answer. Next. You don't even give him a clock. We're good.
All right, so let's I want to go first here on Raptors Cavaliers. Put me on the clock, boys. Let's go Raptors. So they have enough to beat the Cavaliers in 6 games. That's right, 6 games. The Raptors went 3-0 against the Cavs, beating them by 11, 13, and 11. This is the first round upset y'all are looking for. Quickly's going to be activated against Harden and Mitchell. Scotty Barnes is going to win the head-to-head matchup with Evan Mobley because it's dog against man, and I'll take dog every time. Raptors' late-game defense has been elite all season. Number 2 in the NBA per stat defender. That's going to be a problem for Mr. Harden. The Raptors are at full strength. Jakob Poeltl is healthy and an underrated player. And the X factor is going to be Colin Murray-Boyles, a defensive stud and a game changer off the bench. And don't sleep on Jamal Shed either. He's going to give him good backup PG minutes. All right, I got Toronto beating Cleveland. I want to go back to Dr. X because he is just vibing, and he's got the hot hand right now. Dr. X, Raptors, Cavs, talk to me, baby.
He's taking Toronto.
Cleveland. I'm going with Cleveland. What are you talking about? Cleveland is going to win, and they're going to win in 6. They're going to win in 6 games. The reason why I don't believe in Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes is a little of a space cadet to me. Like some games he's great. Defensively, he's great, but in terms of offensively, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it offensively. Offensively, sometimes he's missing in action, and he looks like he's missing in action. And so I just feel like Brandon Ingram is tough, and I also believe that Brandon Ingram will help them win 2 games. But I just feel like the Cleveland Cavaliers are properly built from top to bottom. They also have toughness. They added toughness in Dennis Schroeder. They added toughness in is it Keon Ellis? They added Keon Ellis, and they also had the freaking Winter Soldier who came back. What's his name? Max Strus. Max Strus is a tough player, has experience, and so I feel like their bench is. I'm telling you, Rick. I'm telling you. And then honestly, Donovan Mitchell always shows up. Even though they don't necessarily win. He shows up. And so I feel like we're not looking – all James Harden has to do is just be the second best player in the team. And the thing about him, it's not about scoring here. The thing with James Harden is that he actually makes the bigs better. He makes Evan Mobley better, and he also makes Jared Allen better. And that's why I have the winning in 6 games.
All right, AM, you got Cavs or Raptors?
Yeah, I'm not coming off the Cavs. The Cavs, I agree. They're going to win in 6 games. I understand what Toronto has done with them to them in the regular season. I understand the 4-0 record. I really do. But Donovan Mitchell just feels like he's been disrespected all year by the media, by fans, by everybody else. Something about it. He's not letting his team lose this time around in the first round of the playoffs. And I like what you're saying, Doc. Winter Soldier, all Max Strus. I like Dennis Schroeder. I like the veteran presence. I think Harden, he doesn't have to be the guy. And I understand, like, it's easy to dump on him and he doesn't show up in the playoffs and what's going to happen, this, that, the other. They've got enough bodies. They've got enough firepower. They can play defense. They can play offense. They can do it all when they want to. It just depends on them whether they want to be dialed in. And I think at least for this first round, they're going to be dialed in. On the other side of the equation, I look at Toronto and I just, as good as Brandon Ingram has been and Scotty Barnes and at times, and Rick, you've talked about their core four. I just don't think that they have enough firepower. There's more firepower on the bench for Cleveland, and I just feel like they are ready to be dialed in. They clawed their way back to the 4th seed this year from where they were in the Eastern Conference standings. I want to give them a lot of credit. Donovan Mitchell knows what it takes to win in 6 this time around.
All right, Dwight Walton, do we have a Raptors call from you?
Not at all. As much as I love Toronto Raptors, I do cheer for them because I do live in the country, but the Cavaliers are a better team since the trade deadline. That's just a fact. The 3 wins that the Raptors have over the Cavaliers this season were before they acquired James Harden. The Raptors turned the Cavaliers over. They got out in transition, did all of that stuff. It doesn't matter. The Cavs are going to win this series. I'll give the Raptors 2 games. James Harden is going to be the best player in this series and the most important player in the series. We could talk about Donovan Mitchell, but James Harden sets the table. He does everything for the Cavaliers, makes his teammates better, doesn't take bad shots, tries to be as efficient as he can. Just the overall collective for the Cavs, they're tougher. They're gonna be better. They're gonna beat the Raptors in this first round. As much as I want to see the Raptors win, the Cavs are just better. 6 games, Cleveland over the Raptors.
Valdef says Harden never keeps consistent energy. You're not wrong, Valdef, and we appreciate you watching and chiming in with a comment. B-Dot, you're going last here. We've got 3 pardon me, I wrote these down wrong. Anyway, doesn't matter. B-Dot, who you got, Toronto or Cleveland, and how many games?
I got Raptors in 7.
Woo! Let's go!
Raptors in 7. I'm going. I love Donovan Mitchell. I love James. Man, Evan Mobley and guys, man, my mind's slipping. That's how much
Jared Allen,
man. Yeah, they not just, it's not enough for me, man. I feel as though that, like Rick said, Raptors got more dogs, way more dogs, and I think they can compete on a defensive level. I think they have more downhill guys than the Cavs do. The Cavs are a very high maintenance jump shooting team. And when it comes to the playoffs, you got to get some easy buckets. You're going to need those 6'5" plus and up guys to get you those higher percentage shots. Hopefully they prove me wrong because I'm a Donovan Mitchell fan, and I hate how underrated that he gets in the shooting guard position. But I just think this is the Raptors. I think this is their year to get to that second round, and we'll see where we go for them. So I got Raptors in 7.
Can't
agree with everybody, man. We got to get a little bit more. Got to get messy. Yeah,
mark this down, guys. 2 of us have Toronto, and 3 of you guys have Cleveland. And this has been a really contentious conversation. I shouldn't say contentious, just like a fun conversation all year. All right, Dr. X, you first on Timberwolves at Denver. I shouldn't say at Denver. Timberwolves versus Denver. Who wins the series and how many games?
I'm going to go with Denver. It's going to be honestly the best series given the history of what happened last year or a couple years ago when the Timberwolves beat Denver. But I just feel like if we're looking at a healthy Denver team, they added some players that I feel were key in their success, as well as those players have grown in their roles and have become stars in their roles. So, not Max Strus, but the number one, getting Brown back was huge. Obviously, a healthy Aaron Gordon is huge. I just think Jokic is going to be great, as he always is. And then you have Jamal Murray, who's a great playoff player. But the other ones is give me their names again. It's Peyton
Watson, Christian Brown.
Yeah, Peyton Watson and Christian Brown. Those 2 players right there. And I think Cam Johnson just has he just has to be better than what sometimes you got from Michael Porter Jr. And I think if he just adds consistency and defense, then I like Denver now. I like Denver this year. They have all the pieces to just be a really good team. There's also some defenders that muck it up as well in Denver. But Timberwolves are really good too. So it's going to be a great series to see, but I got Denver in 6.
Denver in 6. Okie dokie. AM Pfeffer, Denver and Minnesota. Who you got?
Said it the other day, going to say it again. Denver in 6, and it easily could be 5. There's something that happened in this 12-game winning streak that I think everybody should be paying attention to. We've talked about Jokic earlier in the year being the guy like, hey, Denver's got to be up, and then they can cruise control at the end of the game, and you don't want to put it necessarily in Jokic's hands. Well, not the case. He's closed out a couple key games down the stretch where he was absolutely the guy. And everybody you just mentioned, of course, everybody else on the team, it doesn't need to bear repeating, but there is definitely one guy that I've got to really proclaim. You've got to put the exclamation point on Jamal Murray. He is, in at least in my opinion, he's very much second team All-NBA this year. His splits are there. His consistency is there. He was there even when Jokic went out for his time for a month in the season. The team is clicking on all cylinders right now. I don't think Minnesota can come into that building in 4 games. I'm talking about Denver, right? There's still the Pepsi Arena, and get it done. And I think Denver gets it done once out in Minnesota as well. 4-2, Denver. This one's pretty easy.
All right, Dwight Walton, we have 2 Denver in 6. How about you?
Just based on the history, this could be one of the rivalries that we have in the NBA. I think Denver will win this series in 7 because they have the home court advantage, and this all depends on the health of Anthony Edwards' knee. He has jumper's knee. That stuff comes and goes. It's going to be tough. Yes, you've got days in between in terms of being able to rest, but getting on a flight, as my cousin knows, doesn't help knees at all. He's going to have to keep that under ice because your knee swells up in the air, man. So I like the addition of AO at the trade deadline from the Bulls. Bones Highland has somehow managed to get himself into the rotation. The Timberwolves are going to put up a serious fight. I just think the determining factor is going to be the 7th game in Denver, in the altitude, and it depends on which Anthony Edwards can be healthy enough to show up. We know he has the moxie, the confidence. He's gonna show up. But I just think Game 7 is going to be the determining factor for Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets.
B-Dot, we got 3 Denvers. How about you?
Denver in 5. Jokic averaging 35, 15, and 15. Rudy Gobert, barbecue chicken. Nas Reed, barbecue chicken. Who else you gonna put on him? Jaden McDaniels, barbecue chicken. Out of there. No one stopping Jokic. I love Edwards. You know, I'm a diehard Anthony Edwards fan. But he gonna need to be more than the killer for this. He gonna need to go on a killing spree. He gonna need to throw a bomb in there. He gonna have to eat, man. He gonna need a team of killers. Because they're not doing that with the Nuggets. It's not last year. Jokic is on a mission and it ain't impossible. Jamal Murray, Cam Johnson, as I was hating on him throughout this whole year, he seemed to find what he needed to do towards the end. You coming in with a healthy Peyton Watson. Hopefully that hamstring for Aaron Gordon is hamstringing and is on a good side of the hamstrings. And other than that, yeah, Nuggets in 5.
Hey, Dot, you'll love this. I picked up Cam Johnson on a Saturday. It was that afternoon game against San Antonio. He helped me win a fantasy basketball championship, and it was a money league, too. It was my last pickup of the week, and he gave me like 18 and 8 with 2 blocks and 2 steals, and I was like, let go, baby! And he helped me win the chip, man. So I'm
me this whole year.
Yeah, and you're right. He's hit a high here at the end. It is 5 for 5. We are all going Denver in this one. Denver gets revenge for losing the 7-gamer to Minnesota a couple of years ago. This is going to go 7 games, in my opinion. Look for Murray to have a tough series, guys. He did 2 years ago. Ant-Man, Jaden, and now Io are going to make it tough on him. Aaron Gordon's going to have his hands mega full with either Ant-Man or Julius Randle. Jokic is going to play Gobert off the floor. Remember in that series 2 years ago, Naz Reid defended Jokic way better than Gobert or Cat. Okay. This is going to come down to who's the better superstar between Jokic and Ant-Man. And I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. Ant-Man's not close to Jokic in terms of like best player in the world. He's not knocking on the door of that, right? Wemby is, SGA is, Ant-Man isn't yet. This is an opportunity for Ant-Man, you know where I'm going here, to be a full-time killer, not a part-time killer. And if he suddenly just goes, bing, I get it now. I'm a full-time killer. Minnesota can win this series. I need to see that, though. The consistency, the urgency from game to game got to be there from Ant-Man. As me and Doc say, you can't have an 8 for 26. That ain't going to work, okay? Bonus prediction. If the Timberwolves lose this series, Chris Finch will be relieved of his duties. I'm not calling for it. I like Chris Finch, but I believe that guillotine will fall if the Wolves lose in the first round. All right. It continues to get spicy. The gifts to open up continue to be bountiful here. And it's not even Christmas. Oh, yeah. It's Hawks. It's Knicks. And it's Dr. X on the mic. Dr. X, who wins in how many games, baby?
Well,
Hawks in 5.
I'll be at game 2. I'll be at man, I gotta get up for this one. I know Doc's gonna have stuff to say and all this Atlanta stuff, Georgia, and all this other stuff. Or maybe not. I'm just trying to play reverse psychology with him right now. But honestly, I got my Knicks in 6. It's gonna be a tough out. They match up really well with the Knicks. They got a plethora of wings. They have a big man that shoots the 3 well, doesn't back down. So all our kryptonites, the Hawks have it. And you have Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's going to be, taking on the challenge to outscore Jalen Brunson. And then if he doesn't do it, then you might have CJ's going to do it. CJ can go nuclear at any moment. And then you have Jalen Johnson, who's just a Swiss Army knife and a defender. And then you have Brunson going against all those defenders, but the great barrier thief in Dyson Daniels. That's one thing to go with him on a random night, but then to have to go every other day against Dyson Daniels, that's going to be tough. So we need everybody to step up, but I have the Knicks in 6, and a lot of that has to do with having home court advantage, even though a lot of times we squander our home court advantage. But I'll be there at game 2. Look out for me. Section 9, row 5. Let's go.
Let's go, Doc. Let's go. All right, Knicks in 6. B-Dot, we go from Doc to Dot. Man, I just screwed up the throw. Dot, please take it away. Who you got? How many games?
I got Knicks in 5. And I think the Achilles heel for the Atlanta Hawks is going to be Dyson Daniels. Yes, he's a great defender, but he's terrible on the offensive side. He's terrible on the offensive side, and they're going to have to keep him on the floor because of his defensive ability, and it's hard to take him off. He's the one who's going to give Jalen Brunson fits. But at the end of the day, I think this is going to be Cat's best series of his playoff tenure this year. I think Cat's going to have a hell of a series, and it's simple as that. Knicks in 5. I just like their whole team better. Hawks, they don't have enough experience. Jalen Johnson, he's going to have to average a triple-double dang near every night for them to win. CJ is up and down. We know Nickeil's going to get up 17 shots a game, but it's his first time actually being in a playoff situation where he's one of the main guys. And I just think the Hawks just need a couple more years in order to make that next league. So I'm with you on this one, Doc. We're going with the Knicks, man. Knicks tape.
Okay. Dwight Walton, who you got? How many games?
The Knicks will win this. The Knicks will win the series. This will be very similar to what Detroit did to the Knicks last season. It'll be a very competitive series. I think all of the games will go down to the final 5 minutes, maybe even the final 2 minutes. But the Knicks have the moxie. They've got the experience. They are tough, and they have all the pressure in the world on them. They know the deal. They need to, at the very least, get to the finals. I think they're going to galvanize amongst themselves. They're going to play the way they're supposed to play. I have them getting to the Eastern Conference Finals at the very least. So I think they will win this series. I think they're going to beat Boston in the next series, but that's another conversation. But I just think the Knicks, they're too good. They've got the depth. They've got the size. They can play big. They can play small. Their versatility is what's going to get him over the top. I have the Knicks in 6 in this series, but it's going to be a very competitive 6-game series.
AM
I
Pfeffer,
just
we've
think you're
got
in a
3
good
Knicks.
You what?
He's in a good mood. He's happy he's going to Switzerland tomorrow. He would never pick the Knicks against the Boston Celtics.
Right? You needed to say it
last week you were saying that the Celtics were going to be the ones that get the Eastern Conference Finals or to the finals. I don't know where that came
I never
from,
said
right?
that.
But anyway.
No. He said they have to get to the finals. The Knicks, he didn't say they were going to make it.
He said he
they
went
have
and
to.
said that, he said that the Knicks will beat the Boston Celtics
Yes,
didn't you say that, Dwight?
I think so.
Yeah. I don't think you said that all year. So once Tatum came back, you were talking about Boston. What happened?
Phil,
What changed?
I argue with you for the sake of arguing.
No, but what changed?
Remember that.
What changed?
Remember that.
Okay. Don't give it up, Dwight. You can't tell people that. Sheesh.
My bad.
All right.
Hey, just keep the cousin bickering going, please. AM Pfeffer, what up?
Yes.
Knicks in 7. I hate to think it and say it, but there's going to be, over the next 10, 14 days, 2 games for the Knicks where we're going to be like, what were you doing? How did you give that away? I can feel it in my bones, and I don't want to, but the storm is coming.
Too. I feel it.
Right? The knee is tricky right now, and you got to listen to that knee when it thumps. Sorry to say, but, I mean, the Knicks do get it done, and Jalen Brunson really is a full-time killer when it comes to that fourth quarter, and he will be the go-to guy, and he will get it done. I'm a believer in him. I've been a believer in him all year. I'm a believer where he is now at this point in his career. And I really do believe that the Knicks, the other players, I believe they rally around him. They're not in a bad place. It's not me saying they're in a good place, but they're not in a bad place. Knicks in 7.
All right, fellas. It is 5 for 5 Knicks. I've got Knicks in 5. They're going to win the first 2 at home. Hawks are going to win game 3. Brunson's going to own game 4, 3-1 going back to MSG, and they're going to house him in game 5. This series is going to play out opposite to all the narratives surrounding both teams going in. Everybody's glazing the Hawks like they're about to win the East, okay? And they've forgotten everything about Hawks history. The Hawks have had a lot of talent, lots of it. The Hawks can't have nice things, just like the Clippers. They can't, they won't, they don't, okay? The Hawks haven't had nice things since they were in St. Louis in 1958 with Bob Pettit, and they needed a Bill Russell injury to win that ship. Who is the Hawks' go-to guy in the clutch? How will Jalen Johnson perform against elite defensive pressure in his first playoff series as the Batman? The Knicks have better bench players. Everybody's dissing the Knicks, talking about them like the end is near, asking if Mike Brown is coaching for his job in this series, ESPN. The Knicks are going to flex on the Hawks and shut everybody up. Brunson's the best player in this series, and I got some stats for you guys. Cat averaged 28 and 13 on 63% against the Hawks in the regular season. Mitchell Robinson's going to be a problem in this series. The Hawks were 18th in rebounding per game. The Knicks were 7th. The Knicks were 6th in offensive rebounding. The Hawks were 18th in offensive rebounding. Boards are going to be a big factor in this one. All right, we have Rockets and Lakers. And I want to go to, Doc, I always love saying this, our resident LeBron James advocate, Dwight Walton first. Dwight, you're on the clock. Rockets, Lakers, who wins in how many games?
The Rockets will win the series. I hope it goes at least 6 games, but that's I'm asking for a lot. LeBron has to lead this group as a 41-year-old. The schedule does favor the Lakers. The schedule does. I'm not so sure about the actual games themselves. The Rockets are too big. They're too athletic. They're a good defensive team. The Lakers are going to have to play out of their comfort zone to even get a game here. They're not known as a great defensive team. They don't have their 2 best scorers. LeBron is good for a game. I don't know if he can sustain it over the course of a series. It'll be, again, to AM Pfeffer's disagreement, I think Ime Udoka is on the clock here. If they don't get this first series done, if they somehow manage to lose to the Lakers with that roster, I think everything is on the table for the Rockets. I can't picture in my mind, as much as I love LeBron James, I can't see it. Rockets, I'll give the Lakers 2 games. Rockets in 6.
All right, Rockets in 6. Let's go to Dr. X next. Dr. X, Lakers, Rockets, who wins how many games?
Well, if the medical staff is going to be soft and not play Luka and AR for both game 1 and game 2, I got it being a sweep. But regardless, I got the Rockets winning this whole series. So I got the Rockets in 4, and they do come back. Maybe got them in 5 or 6. But Rockets are going to win the series.
A.M. Pfeffer, who wins in how many games?
Let me first address what Dwight's saying, and I got to talk about Ime Udoka. First of all, who would you want to replace one of the top 5 coaches in the league? 1. 2, yeah, he shows up in Houston when they're cellar dwellers and brings them into a top 4 or 5 team a few years running with a great future ahead of them, and he's out the door. Knock it off.
Jamal Mosley.
Yeah, right. Jamal Mosley's coming to Houston, and he's replacing Ime Udoka and doing a better job. So, Rockets in 6. And I'll tell you this, it could be 4 or 5 if the aforementioned Ime Udoka runs all of this through Alperen Şengün. Şengün should go off in this series. KD aside, or Amen Thompson aside, or whoever you want to put out there, or Reed Shepherd showing up and doing what he does off the back, doesn't matter. Run through Şengün, and they are going to crush the Lakers. It could easily be a sweep, whether Luka comes back hobbled or not, or AR comes back hobbled or not, but I'm still going Houston in 6.
All right. I have Houston as well, guys, in 5. Rockets are going to win the first 2 games in LA. They're going to take the heart out of the Lakers and their fans. The Lakers are reportedly playing the wait and see long game with Luka. They're going to save him and play the, we lost and so now we bring it. That never works. All they do is tempt the basketball gods and hand your own team a shovel to dig your own basketball graves. Luka should be playing game 1. Get him off vacation. Lace it up. The Bucks tried this with Giannis a couple of years ago in the first round against Miami, and that's when Jimmy Butler was up at 5-star form. This is my MFing house. You remember that to Drew Holiday?
Yep.
And Butler just went ham on those guys. There is no governor on the throttle in the playoffs. It's full blast or go home. LeBron's been sensational without Luka and Reeves, predictably. The rest of the team is an absolute dumpster fire. Şengün's going to destroy dominating. I'd like to give you a gesture, but it's a family show. Durant and LeBron are going to cancel each other out. Amen Thompson is going to have the basketball world buzzing about his overall play. And there's not a whole lot of suspense, I believe. Well, there is. There's suspense on when, if Luka and Austin will or will not play. But this is a very pro-Houston scenario. All right, so we have one more game to predict here, fellas. And hopefully we can get Dot back and we can circle back with him on his prediction on that game. Blazers and Spurs. I'm going to go first, and it's going to be real quick, okay? Gentlemen sweep. Spurs win the first 3. Portland at home, game 4. One last hurrah for the fans. Pressure's off. Game 5, back in San Antonio, the Spurs maul the Blazers by 30 points and send Denny and company into the offseason. So I've got, in this one, I got Spurs in 5. Dwight Walton, you next.
Spurs in 6. I'm a huge Denny Avdia fan. I think he'll do what he does. He'll win 2 games. I like the supporting cast. I just think his competitive spirit permeates throughout the entire Blazers roster. They've got experience at the point guard position in Drew Holiday. I think Donovan Clingan will do his part on the interior. He won't stop Victor Wembanyama at all, obviously. But I think they have enough size, talking about the Blazers, to make it competitive on the perimeter. Jeremy Grant, Shaedon Sharp, Tumani Kamara, they have enough. They don't shoot the three ball well, unfortunately. They were, I think, 27th or 28th in the NBA in terms of three-point percentage. But you never know. Sometimes when you know you're the prohibitive underdog, sometimes players play out of themselves and play above what they normally do. But I just think Denny Avdia is on such a high right now. He's confident, and he has these Blazers and Blazer Nation believing. But I think it's only good enough for 2 wins. It'll be a competitive series, but the Spurs will come out on top 4-2.
Dr. X, who you got? How many games?
I mean, I think we all want the Spurs to win just because what Wemby's been doing all year. But I agree with Dwight. I think it's going to be a competitive series. I think the others of the Portland Trailblazers also are up to the task against the others of the Spurs. So with that, with that said, Denny Avdia is. I don't think anybody can stop him. I think Cass is going to get in foul trouble. And then the whole Drew Holiday factor, I think he's going to be great in terms of defending someone like a De'Aaron Fox. It might mitigate his impact. So ultimately, it's going to be Wemby's going to have to play otherworldly in every game that they win. But they do, as Dwight said, they have a lot of bigs to throw at them. They have Time Lord, they got Klingon, and they have bodies that have 6 fouls in them. And so I think, Wemby's going to be probably getting in foul trouble just trying to prevent Denny Avdia from scoring in the paint. And so we got to watch out for the fouls. And I think the others of the San Antonio Spurs, they got to hit those threes. And so I think that's going to be the game changer, is going to be 3-point shooting. But I want San Antonio to win, but ultimately I think San Antonio will win in they will win in like 6.
6. Okay. I want to go to B-Dot here and your beautiful little daughter, who I've been saying hi to. Hi.
That's the second daughter. He just showed 2. There was 2 on the show so far.
So we have making nice cameos here. Doc, what I want from you is a Portland-San Antonio prediction and also a Houston Lakers prediction. We got to get that from you too.
Sweep Houston and Lakers. Houston 4-0. 5-1 wow. San Antonio. Portland not doing nothing. Portland's not doing nothing against San Antonio. Like let's stop the games. Denny Avdia, fake Luka. I love him. But he's a downhill player. And he's one of the best downhill players in the game. When you got that 7'12" demigod down there, clinging, whatever, he's not doing nothing with Wemby. He didn't even play that much in the game against his son, but he did hit my parlay. I had him over 10.5 rebounds. He gave me 11. Other than that, Drew Holiday had a great game, but he's not doing that against the Spurs. Kamara, he played in. Nah, bro, the Spurs are too deep. Stephen Kauser is going to give Denny Avdia fits, or whoever he's guarding fits. Wemby's about to average 27, 9, and 10, bro. Like Wemby's going to come out with a statement game like he did when he played against the Lakers early this season when he scored 40 in the first quarter. That's what he's going to do against Portland Trail Blazers. I mean, I'm only giving him 1 just because. Dame's my favorite player.
All right. It's all about the parlay, Rick.
So, Dot, I gotta just confirm something. Did you call Denny Avdia fake Luka? Is that what you called him?
Yeah, I call him fake Luka, but not in a disrespectful way because there's not. He was Luka the other night. He prime example. He had 47-11. So when I say fake Luka, if I say fake Ben Simmons, now that's a disrespect. All right, fake Luka right. Means he's the closest thing to Luka that we're going to see, in the league, minus the step back jump shots. But in terms of stat wise and how he affects the game, yeah, Luka to the T. Maybe a better defender, maybe. But other than that, yeah, fake Luka.
I like it. Fake Luka. And we had AM calls Luka a putz. So here we go, AM. You're which I think is hilarious. That's an underused word, by the way. AM, who you got? Portland, San Antonio, and how many games?
Dot, Rick, I think you both had the gentleman sweep. Do me a favor. Cut me a cigar. Pour me a snifter of brandy. I'm joining you at the Gentleman's Club. 5-1, pretty easy. Portland gets 1 just because, but come on. San Antonio's on a heater. Wembanyama, like you said, Dot, he's coming out fiery. All that matters is he stays healthy. If he's healthy, could easily be a sweep. 5-1. Gentlemen sweep.
4-1.
Excuse me, 4-1. Yeah, 4-1.
Look at
you know what though?
Timu Luka. You call him Timu Luka. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
You know what though?
That's so good.
Fellas, we need to give. Listen, the Trailblazers. First of all, kudos to Tiago Splitter for the job he has done. There's a whole bunch of controversy over that franchise as well, and for them to be one of the 19 teams that finished over 500 in the NBA is a testament to the organization. Their roster is built for today's NBA. They're long, they're athletic, they defend, they don't shoot the ball well, but they're tough. They're not going to back down from anybody. They were down 11 with 6 minutes and 28 seconds to go against Phoenix, and they never flinched. They stayed in the game, and they had that man, Denny Advia, who was going to the basket against some pretty good defenders and led that team to a victory. So let's give them some credit. Shaden Sharp, Advia, Jeremy Grant, Kamara, Drew Holiday. They got some dogs now. They got some players. So let's not sleep on the Portland Trailblazers.
Scoot right. Too. Yep.
Scoot at my fault. Scoot Henderson. My bad.
Yeah, I like what they got cooking, but they're playing that juggernaut. All right, guys, it is rant time. I'll go first. Anthony Davis and Rich Paul are trying to big boy the Wizards into finding a contender for him. You guys see this story? Joshua Robbins of The Athletic writes, Davis reiterated Monday that he wants to have in-depth conversations with Wizards brass, those are my words, but over the next few months to learn whether team officials have a concrete plan to compete for a championship either next season or during the 27-28 season. The word championship and Wizards should not be in the same sentence or paragraph for another 5 years, okay? Sorry. It's the last time I'll yell. Actually, I can't make that promise. You know how I roll. Oh, my God, this is so frustrating to me. What happens, Anthony, if they tell you their plan and you don't think it'll work? Yeah, man, we're hitching our wagon to Bub Carrington. That'll work. Then what, Anthony? Then what? Are you going to demand a trade? Will you fake another injury and miss 77 more games? Bro, read the room. The reason you have been banished to Siberia, a.k.a. Washington, is because nobody around the league wants you, because you never play, yet you still want max money. This isn't 2021, bro, where teams have zillions of dollars it can spend as freely as they want. They got to think about it now, Anthony, okay? And they don't want you. Teams don't pay for your resume. Teams pay you for what you're going to do, not what you have done. He does not understand this. He thinks, I'm top 75. Of course I'm going to get max. Read the room, bro. The room's different now. Different temperature, okay? Nobody wanted Trae Young. That's why he's in Washington with you. It's the island of misfit toys, the Washington Wizards right now. Nobody wants Ja Morant. That's why he's stuck in Memphis on a team who doesn't want him either. You think Giannis and the Bucks need a divorce. I think Ja and Memphis are even higher than that, okay? And Anthony Davis, nobody wants you, bro. Look in the mirror. Anthony Davis had the leverage to big boy the Pelicans into trading him to the Lakers. But he's all out of leverage now. Guys, I've got some very, very grim financial statistics for you. Anthony Davis will make $58 million this year for his age 33 season. How do you think that's going to go? We already know. Then he's going to pick up a $62 million player option for his age 34 season. I would bet my car, my drums, and my sanity that nobody is going to step up and trade for Anthony Davis and give him that money over the next 2 years. That's $120 million, and you're going to get 43 games. Anthony, nobody's going there, bro. Okay? Advice. I'm your life coach, Anthony Davis. I'm here to help. Okay? I am. Make the most of your time in Washington with Trae Young. Y'all might do some things in the East. Maybe you could get to the play-in tournament, win into the playoffs, and give your fan base finally something for the love of God to cheer for other than Alexei Ovechkin, okay? That's the best it's going to get, buddy. That's best case scenario for you. Worst case scenario is my last prediction here. These are the last 2 years that Anthony Davis will be a max player. That is a guarantee, and they might be his last 2 years in the league. Let's go to Dr. X for his rant next here on Beyond the Surface.
Well,
Knicks.
I have to say, guys, that there's going to be a lot of teams that will be exposed and for fool's gold. There's a lot of great regular season teams, and we've seen it before. We've watched the playoffs enough to know that not everybody that's great in the regular season will necessarily translate into the playoffs. So there's an upset alert. There's 3 upset alerts. 2 of them are in the East, and I already said them. And I also believe that the upset alert we should be looking for are the Spurs. They're inexperienced, and Wemby is going to be Wemby. Wemby might have to have 50 points every game, but there's the others. It's always about matchups. The others of the Blazers versus the others of the Spurs. That's going to be the matchup to watch. I don't think the Blazers will win the series, but they're certainly going to give the Spurs the much needed experience they need in the playoffs, and which will make them better for the next series. But there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be learning that, hey, this is a different thing. And I think Denny Avia is really going to show a lot of people what the playoffs is. I think he's going to have a great playoff series, and he's going to scare the Spurs into being great. But on the other hand, I feel like the Celtics are going to show us, they're going to remind us of the Celtics that they were before. That same Celtics team that lost to the Miami Heat and we're down 3-0, that's the same Celtics team we're going to see. Because a lot of those players that made them great, from good to great, are gone. And they're doing great things on those other teams. So I think the upset alert is for, Philly has nothing to lose. They have the excuse. They have the excuses lined up. Joel Embiid has had an appendectomy. But you have Andre Drummond, who could technically start for a lot of NBA teams. And he has a chip in the shoulder. And he matches up well. It's a matchup thing. And so I feel like the 76ers have nothing to lose. They're dangerous. PG has a huge chip in the shoulder after being seated for the whole suspension for the illegal substances use, or banned substances, whatever you want to call it. So they have nothing to lose. So they are very dangerous and they're capable, and it's a matchup issue. So I feel like the Celtics are upset alert, and I do believe I didn't believe this going into it because I didn't know who the Celtics were going to play. But after yesterday and seeing the fan base and just seeing who they have matchup-wise, I think the 76ers are going to beat the Celtics in the first round. And it's just going to be upset alert, and people are going to have excuses. Yeah, Tatum came back from an injury. He shouldn't have came back too early. He's not the same player, so, things like that. And then, you know what? Joel Embiid might surprise us. He might come back and play at least one game. He might. You never know. And Joel Embiid can come back out of nowhere and drop 30 because he does it all the time. So that's all I'm saying. The last upset alert is the Detroit Pistons. They have never won a playoff series together as a team. I do believe they're favored to beat the Hornets. But once again, the Hornets have nothing to lose as well. And then the other thing about that, I think Orlando matches up well in a playoff series against Detroit Pistons. So either way, they're going to have their work cut out for them. And I think if Orlando is that team that plays against the Pistons, Orlando will win that series. If it's the Hornets, then I have the Hornets losing to Detroit, but scaring them into greatness to be better in the next series.
Just like you told Dwight, don't switch up. Stop switching up. Because earlier in the year, you had the Spurs and the Knicks in the finals. Now the Spurs losing first round. But that's just for Dwight's purposes.
No, I didn't. I didn't say that. I said that they'll ultimately be scared into greatness. I said that they're going to show a lot of people, but I said they're in upset alert, but they won't lose.
No, okay,
series.
upset alert. Stay on that. That means that they're going to be alerted by upset.
No, I explained what I meant.
No. Upset alert means this team is going to upset this team.
All right.
Hold on. Are the Knicks on upset alert?
Stand on it, Doc.
Yeah, they are. They are, but not. But they are. But they haven't reached the threshold where they're in my rant. But I already said the series go to 6. So anything that's a 6-game series in the first round, technically is upset alert.
Just give you a hard time, Doc. Just give you a hard time.
I know, man. I'm telling you. Watch out, Boston. Watch out, Boston. Because all those others, Sharman and all these other cats, let's see if you show up when it matters. Bright lights, baby.
Hey, Dot, I got to ask you a question. So you usually go last, but I know you've got your daughters and stuff. Do you want to go now, or do you want to wait for AM and Dwight? You call it here. Do you want to do it now or wait a little bit?
Yeah, they writing on walls and everything. I'll go ahead and do it now. Yeah,
okay.
They done got into the crayons and all that. So let me go ahead and get it out the way. All right, look, hey man, I ain't gonna lie. I seen something the other day that threw me off. Okay, because you know how you reading something and you got to read it again. Like, hold on, wait, what?
Yeah,
that was me. So I'm scrolling, I'm minding my business, and I see Nia Long. We talking about Ime Udoka today, okay? She say she prefers younger men. I said, oh, is that certainly so? I said, nah, we need to talk about this, okay? Because all my life, all I heard was women mature faster. I need a real man. He got to be established. Now, all of a sudden, y'all want these young guys, okay? Okay, the rules changed. And she said, it's fun. Fun? What we doing? This Six Flags now? Because what kind of fun we talking about, all right? Because I know these young dudes, they got energy, they got stamina, all right? They don't got no plan. You ask him, where you see yourself in 5 years? He gonna be like, shoot, somewhere courtside. And then she said the best part about young dudes is they go home. Oh, so that's the appeal, right? I see, baby, I see. So that's the appeal. You don't even want him to be there for real. You want him to be there. Oh, you want him to be a part-time boyfriend? This ain't love. This is a shift schedule. Okay, so yeah, come over 7 to 9. After that, clock out. And don't get me started on that NDA part. She said they got to sign NDAs. You want contracts now? So now before I even get a hug, I got to sign paperwork. Initial here. Don't talk about nothing. Don't tweet. Don't blink. This ain't dating. This is a business contract. And then she said she like closet dating. Oh, so now we a secret. So I'm young, I'm quiet, and I'm hidden. I'm a side quest. Nah, man. I ain't mad at it though. I respect it. Hey, sign me up. Because at 55, if you figured out what you want, live your life. But let's be honest, this a win for the young dudes, okay? They celebrating right now. They in a group chat going crazy. Hey, bro, we got a chance. Haircut levels going up. Outfit coordination at an all-time high. They like, boy, I'm finna get Nia Long. Sir, relax, okay? You're not built for that veteran experience, okay? She done seen everything, okay? You pull up talking about where we eating at. She like, I've been 8. Older, successful, peaceful. I get it. You don't want no stress. You don't want nobody asking where you at every 10 minutes, okay? You want somebody to come through, vibe, and leave. That's crazy. That's not a relationship. That's a subscription. That's a monthly plan. No rollover minutes. Cancel anytime. And guess what? Sign me up. Because, man, tell me if I'm wrong. Because this ain't dating no more. This is a system. Shout out to Nia Long. Let me know where I need to fill out the application. I'm about to DM her right now. That's my rant. That's it. This guy is rated. I'm gonna holler at you. Look, Ime Udoka, you fumbled. You Cam Newton, Ime. You should have dove on the ball, Ime. You should have dove on it. Now you got everybody else in the league gonna dive. Nah, man, look. That's it, y'all. I gotta go. I appreciate y'all.
Don, we love you, man. Oh my gosh.
Love it.
I'm coming, man.
Are you serious right now? Are you serious? That was pure comedy, dude. Again, the muscles in the back of my neck that support my upper spine are they're very, very sore right now from smiling nonstop. Oh, B-Dot's the absolute best. All right, Dwight, you're going to bring us home. A.M. Pfeffer, hit us with your rant, my friend.
Yeah, right. I'm supposed to go after that, right? There's a reason Doc goes last. Come on now. Bring this back to me. Today is a day of AM Fat for me, a Copos. I got another one for you guys. I am a hypocrite. I'm the first to admit that. I really am, especially when it comes to this. Dwight, cover your ears. I want LeBron to retire. I want the man to retire. I'm here to see him out of the league at the end of this year. Whether it happens or not, I'm still staking my claim that I'm leaning towards him retiring. But I want him to retire. You know who I don't want to retire? And Rick, I cannot believe you just mentioned his name a couple of minutes ago because I thought it would be totally out of left field. Ovechkin. I'm here for Ovechkin. He said the other day, he said after his last game, hey, this probably is, to be honest with you, this probably isn't my last game. My man, he's 40. I want him playing till 50. I'm hypocritical. I want LeBron at 41, who's still playing like a 30-year-old. I'm ready to see him retire and move out of the league. But Ovechkin, y'all remember Yager this for me, man. Stick around to 46, 47, even 50. I love Ovechkin in that Capitals uniform. The dude is first, they put up a graphic the other day, first, and it's similar to LeBron because he's got a lot of firsts too, but first in everything, obviously goals scored, but goals in the third period, goals going away, goals when in crunch time. It's ridiculous how awesome he is. I just want it to keep going forever. Give me another decade of Ovechkin. I'm not even a hockey guy. I'm just an Ovechkin guy. LeBron, I love you. I'm ready for retirement. Ovechkin, I'm here for your next decade. Let's do it.
Wow, very ironic take. Very ironic take right there. I hate seeing GOATs retire. I know they have to, and it's part of life, but I'm always like, never get to see him play again. So I'm with you on Ovi, but I'm not with you on Bron, but I like it. And Dwight Walton, you're going to bring us home, my friend.
This is many conversations I've had about this player. I love this player. Do I like some of his antics on the basketball court? Do I like some of his takes on his podcast? I may disagree with them every now and then, but I'm here to praise Draymond Green. Draymond Green will go down as one of the best defensive players to ever play in the NBA. I've met Draymond Green on a couple of occasions, had a conversation with him at the JSX airport in Burbank on my way back. I was on my way to Vegas, and he's the same size as I am. He has the opportunity. I don't know. Now, listen, last night's game against the Clippers doesn't count, but this season, if he's named to the all-defensive team, he'll be one of 5 players to be named all defensive teams 10 times in the NBA. Tim Duncan, 15 times. Scottie Pippen, 12 times. Dennis Rodman, and Kobe Bryant, 10 times. Draymond right now is at 9. Imagine, Michael Jordan is not on that list. LeBron James is not on that list. We make fun of Draymond Green being the king of the triple singles, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. What we don't talk about are the intangibles that Draymond Green brings to the table. He enabled the Warriors to become the Warriors. Yes, we will talk about Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala, the whole cast of characters. Steve Kerr is the head coach. We will talk about all the cast of characters that the Warriors have had. But Draymond Green's defensive excellence, his ability to take the ball off the defensive backboard and lead the break, setting illegal screens for Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, enabling those guys to get open. His leadership, some may question it, but he's tough, positive. His teammates love him. Steve Kerr goes to bat for him time and time again, much to the chagrin of our host, Rick Kamala. But the reality is, Draymond Green is a leader. He is a winner. He is a champion. He may not be aesthetically pleasing to the eye, but what he does is he's the intangible king. He is a champion, a defensive stalwart. We have to give him his flowers. He is a great player. He will be a Hall of Fame, a first ballot Hall of Famer. It is well deserved. It is much deserved. He needs to be spoken more about. He may not be 7 feet tall, but he's one of the best defensive players to ever, I repeat, to ever play in the NBA, and he's no more than 6'6". Draymond Green, I'm paying you your respects today. Much deserved. I hope you get named to the all-defensive team again for the 10th time so you can be in selective company again amongst Tim Duncan, Scottie Pippen, Kobe Bryant, and Dennis Rodman. I bow down to you today. Excellent, excellent defensive player.
What a show, fellas. What a show. Wow. Spicy opinions. I got it all documented. We'll be following it as the playoffs ensue. Of course, we have the play-in tournament games coming up tomorrow. We are out, ladies and gentlemen, for Brandon Armstrong, for Dr. Phil McDonald, a.k.a. Dr. X, for A.M. Pfeffer, for Dwight Walton, for Jason Arambulo, for Kai Josephson, and also for Dave Kinzel. I'm Rick Cambla. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy all the ball. We will see you Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, wrapping up 8 playoff games over the weekend right here on Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Bye-bye.